There we go, there we go. For another rock and roll. All the way to the mountain. We're gonna go check it out and we're gonna go get it on the do. Let's go for that rock and roll. Ready? Let's see. Oh, somebody got left some food I took last time from that. That's really good, but I got it home, so somebody left some food and we're gonna check the fridge. And sometimes I want to do that volunteering to clean it up myself. And see here, you got a little bit of that food pantry. This has to be closed. I like the name of this one. It's really beautiful colors there. Sunshine Food Pantry. So what we're gonna do now is, you know how we go drill it. Turn my head left and right. We're gonna go all the way to the mountain, all the way to the mountain, all the way to the mountain from my neighborhood. NDG, thank you for those who make the kindness to donate a little bit of food, and farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, all involved in the production, distribution of food. I gotta send some salutations, and although financially stressed, grateful, thankful, my rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. Rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. Rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. And I gotta get going with that drill, and gotta get going on that drill with that, you know. So that's how we're gonna get going on that, you know. XYZ to get it on the love. And here we got some construction workers. Gotta salute and admire some construction workers. And this is my Arbeit, my work as well, you know. As an independent philosopher, artist, athlete, philosopher, and geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and with neurodivergence, you know, I'm part of this tiny minority of Aspies would have Asperger's, you know, so I gotta live with this special type of mental divergence, and it's not a mental illness, of course, it's just a neurodivergence which makes me predisposed to obsessive interest, and that's what we gotta get doing on that. That's what we gotta get doing on that. So we're gonna get drilling, you know. So I wonder when this was built, you know. What year? Gotta salute whoever built it. Construction workers, rock and roll, you know, my field, my domain is geopolitics, sports and fitness. Dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity with that rock and roll. And this year, I find it beautiful. I would love it a little bit of red and green and rainbow with that, but a little bit of blue. But nonetheless, I find it really exquisite. I don't know, just how it's done. I like, it's kind of like rectangular, I guess, you know, the shape. And I gotta salute Senator LOV, because construction workers went on those cranes, and I will and call all to support the building of the North American People's Imperial Coliseum on the Canadian-US border, where the first event is gonna be. Dragon versus Trump, yours truly. Got those red gloves, red. My favorite color in the backpack, which were gifted by my anonymous friend, who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. Back in 2018, when's the first time that I started challenging Donald Trump, when Donald Trump imposed tariffs of 10% on Canadian aluminum and steel. And yeah, hey, good job. And whoever built this, all construction workers of the North American Collective, I put on the table kisses, feet washings, hugs, rock and roll, you know, for us to build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, a structure, an arena, a coliseum, to be 11 times greater, bigger than the Caesars Superdome in Louisiana. The Caesars Superdome were one of my favorite top 5 Super Bowls was played. The top 5 Super Bowl, of course, where my 49ers lost by only 3 points, though. It was still a loss, even if it's by 1 point, you know, because I love gridiron, I love North American football, I love all sports and fitness activity, but that's what it is. And dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity. You know, I dance now, it's a marching dance, and I got that choreography in my head. But anyways, gotta go on the go. So whoever built that building there, you know, oh, what's on top? I don't know. What's on top there? What's on top? Is that 3G, 4G, 5G? Not sure. I'm assuming. See, I know a little bit about technology, science. In a parallel life, I know a lot about it. But in this life, is geopolitics, sports and fitness, and that good rock and roll 24/7 in those 3 areas, the Trinity. You know, Because people like myself who are neurodivergent, have Asperger's, we're super focused, super intense, super concentrated on those special interests, aka obsessive interests. So those, I've been working in them independently for years and years and years, you know. And I actually predicted what's happening now. You know, I got proof of work, and I predicted an international conflagration back in 2019 in October, November, based on several layers of a parameter of analysis, deep and profound and with many layers to it. But overall, I have made the conclusion that due to the fact that, fundamental fact that many regions, nation states, civilizations were not able to fully resolve their conflicts in the 20th century, that is going to be a spillover in the 21st century. So that's basically what happened. What's happening, right? Those conflicts from the 20th century were not fully resolved. So those conflicts have been started to spill over again, and that's what we got here today. And we got to avoid and got to find the resolutions. I got to turn my head left or right here. Although I got 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. You never know. Always got to be prudent with that, and got to be prudent, you know. Because you never know, the brakes malfunction, you know. If the brakes malfunction, citizen presses the accelerator, the brakes sometimes malfunction, and sometimes, you know, that's the thing in the public, you know, you never know. So double prudence a little bit when you cross the streets, you know, to get it on the go with that, to get it on the go. So, and this building also, I wonder when it was built. I think sometimes it was maybe 1950s, maybe 60s. It's hard to tell sometimes because by the layer indication of the architectural style of the layers, I guess there's decades by decades by decades, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing with that. See? So anyways, that's what we gotta be. I'm not sure. I could guess 50s, but it could be 60s or even 70s. Whatever the case may be, I'm calling the construction workers to help support build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. The North American People's Imperial Coliseum. I'm just gonna have to discard a little bit of trash here. Anyway, so I gotta give a shout out to the public workers. I kind of like the creamy type of the benches, you know. So if you bring me the tools, the permission and the brushes, I'm gonna paint all the benches at top Mount Royal, because that's my second home and that's where we're headed, you know. So I was getting a little bit on the chilly side. I guess I'm gonna have to put on those gloves. This, I think, is going in the minus below, but nonetheless, back to what I was saying. Geopolitics, of course, is my special interest. And of course, it is the study, the analysis of geopolitics 24/7, you know, 24/7. And there we got a little bit of that. And I have predicted what's happening now. Back in 2019, I have proof of working consequence. I've created a workout training program system which requires no equipment, which is easy. Easy in the terms that it requires no equipment, but not necessarily physically easy, because when I started doing it back in 2019, it was kind of on the hard, and it got really, as I progressed in repetition, you know, as I've embarked on a fitness journey, which I recommend. I started my fitness journey after 2017, July, August, when I crossed Canada coast to coast. That event made me come out of being depressed and suicidal. You know, I was depressed, suicidal, depressed and suicidal. It was depressed, suicidal, and I crossed Canada coast to coast, and that event completely changed my life. I still remember when I reached Banff, had like an illumination, and crossing the prairies and meeting colorful fellow citizens. And that event really made me change my life around, turn my life around. I stopped being depressed and suicidal. I had like a illumination, revelation, and I said so many things to see, to do across this true north, strong and free. And I established a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians and who are family. You know, I consider Quebecers, Canadians my family, and my brothers and sisters in the USA as well, because Parallel to being an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, philosopher, mystic, and analyst, I am, of course, a mystic. I say the word goddess, G-O-D-D-S-S. I don't know all the, I do not know all the answers to the questions. I have maybe more questions than answers, but I do know that we will to build the forgotten goddess temple, the forgotten goddess temple, the forgotten goddess temple, the forgotten goddess temple, the G-O-D-D-E-S-S, the G-O-D-D-E-S-S, the G-O-D-D-E-S-S. The G-O-D-D-E-S-S, the goddess temple. That's what it is with that. So that's what I know. That's my will to build, and I have a tremendous love and admiration for construction workers such as this, and I always rock and roll for them, especially the cranes, and I'm a big fan. So those who will to build the forgotten goddess temple, I'm gonna credit them, of course, some XYZ with that, and gonna credit them some feet washings, some XYZ, and gonna credit them some loving and some of those feet washings with that, and some massages, some therapy, and some rock and roll, because gonna need the construction workers to build, of course, the forgotten goddess temple, the forgotten goddess temple, the forgotten goddess temple, forgotten goddess temple with that. So that's gonna be the forgotten goddess temple, you know. So that's what it is, man. The forgotten goddess temple I will to build, you know, on the Canadian-US border, and that's what I will to build with the forgotten goddess temple right there. And of course, parallel to the forgotten goddess temple, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum for sports in perpetuities, sportus in perpetuitis, sportus in perpetuitis, for fitness 24/7, fitness, sports. And the first inauguration event is going to be me fighting Donald Trump, and to be that 11 times bigger than the Coliseum, the sports arena, where of course the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, to be 11 times bigger than the Caesars Superdome, Caesars Superdome, which changed names from Mercedes-Benz, and before it had another name. So he changed names several times. I'm in the process of doing, already did it, but officially still have to pay a little bit of that labor with it, so still have to pay a little bit of that labor with it, you know. So that's gotta be that, and to do that, to start it, because I'm financially stressed. I am living in a financially precarious situation. But my rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. But you know, I've been through a lot, got suffered, scarred, and that's what it is with that. And that's what we gotta get. That's what we gotta get doing. And you know, the children are happy, I'm happy. If the children are happy, I'm happy. You know, if they're smiling, they're happy. That kind of makes me joyous as well, because they're the future. You know, so for the North American culture, and that's what we got to be doing. So now I'm heading east, so basically to be 11 times the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, that is where the first sports event is going to be, Dragon versus Trump, to be 11 times bigger than the Superdome, where one of my top 5 Super Bowls was played. The Hardball Bowl, aka the Blackout Bowl, Hardball Bowl, aka the Blackout Bowl. Hardball Ball is also named, Blackout Ball is named after, Hardball is a surname, is Hardball, is not 2 words, is Hardball, H-A-R-B-A-U-G-H, H-A-R-B-A-U-G-H, H-A-R-B-A-U-G-H. So there were 2 brothers for the first time met, and it has never happened ever before and ever since. There's that Super Bowl, which was 2013, you know, something like that. So one of my top 5 favorites, although my 49ers lost. Speaking on the subject, please, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, NHL, please, of course, reduce the ticket costs by 44.9%, by 44.9%. Reduce the ticket cost by 44.9% for the population to be able to, now with the struggling and financial situation, precarious, myself included, the cost of living having increased tremendously over the past 5 years, still is increasing, especially during this COVID. And you know, I'm marking, still celebrating until Friday. I'm still celebrating, marking the surviving COVID, you know. So I'm still celebrating, marking surviving COVID. So I survived COVID back, of course, in 2020. between February 7th and March 20, end of March 20. So 5 years ago I had COVID. COVID for me was really, I thought I was gonna die. I thought it was my last chapter. So in many ways I say that I died during COVID. Nothing that I will to go back to before, but I live carpe diem every day since. But I have hope for tomorrow, for better days for tomorrow. But since I was hit by COVID for me was hardcore. I say it was death, pestilence, and disease. I say like it was like death, pestilence, and disease. I say that it was like death, pestilence, and disease. I say that it was like death, pestilence, and disease. So having said that it was like death, pestilence, and disease, I know it sounds like a hardcore death trash, hardcore metal, death trash metal song, like death, pestilence, and disease. Oh man, misplease. I know it sounds kind of, you know, that trash metal, heavy metal, death, hardcore trash metal, you know. But that's how I felt. And I thought it was my last chapter. It wasn't. I credited me surviving COVID to the GODDSS, to the goddess of many names, you know, who calls me piece of dust. Say piece of dust, yeah, not a problem, yeah, but I lust, and you know, I have Asperger's, which is a neurodivergence, makes me part of this tiny minority of citizens of the world who live with this neurodivergent, because it's less than 1%, less than half of a percent. It's 0.44% of the population. So it's a really tiny minority, small fraction, and a little part of the population which live with this neurodivergence. Because it's not a mental illness, it's just that our brains, Asperger's brains, are made different. So we see the world differently, and in certain things, in situational, especially in the social aspect, social norms, social communication, and the manners and mannerism of the social protocols and accordance, and can be very difficult for us to kind of abide by, understand fully. You know, for example, I give this specific one, personal space. So an Aspie will get very close in conversation. So that's something I have to manage, because it's just the characteristics. Because it's not symptoms really. Symptoms is for mental illness. Symptoms are for an illness, for a malady. But Asperger's is neither. It's not a mental illness. It's just a neurodivergence, and I live with that. So, and for example, personal space. Whatever the case may be, a foot, 2 feet, a meter and a half, whatever. It varies from individual to individual, but you have the personal space. So Aspies, I'm an individual Aspie, part of this tiny, small, little community of 0.44% of the world who live with this neurodivergence. The sun's coming out, my Publik. But we tend to get so close. Very close by an inch, sometimes to the face at 2-3 inches. Very close, we breach. These things that are kind of unwritten social rules and norms and etiquettes are very hard for Aspies, you know. We can talk and do on and on and hours daily. Work or activity with concentration, intensity and concentration and super dedication, where we are involved in those specific areas of which are our special interest. Yay, my Publik in the sun. Which are our special interest for myself is geopolitics. 24/7, even before I left today, I left earlier again. It's Wednesday, the 26th of March, 2025. Wednesday, 26th of March, 2025. It is Wednesday, 26th of March, 2025, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. So it's geopolitics, sports and fitness. Dancing is my favorite sport, and fitness activity, and rock and roll. So that's my holy trinity, and I spend hours and hours daily. Geopolitics, sometimes I realize I spend 6 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, 7 hours with just a coffee or whatever, going to the washroom and just super focused on doing geopolitical analysis, revising my theories, the events of the past and of the present, because it's a daily occurrence, you know. So now, as this March is on the 26th, celebratory March, I'm celebrating now, celebrating surviving COVID. And of course, it's a celebratory march, rock and roll march, and of course I have survived COVID, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. And of course, being celebrated, surviving COVID, you know. It's also a march for my fellow brothers and sisters, black, white, brown, rainbow of the North American Collective, and all who come to join us here, all who come to join us here, who come to join us here, you know. I'm just gonna do some sun salutations because I'm a wannabe Thelemite, and it's a special holiday until the 11th of April. Bury a third of me with Papa Crowley up in Hampton, New Jersey. A third of me up in the city of the pyramids. City of the pyramids. A third of me up in Mount Royal, where I'm heading now. My second home. So that's a little bit of burst of the sun is always good and pleasant to have. Get some of that vitamins, and the sun always shines, always rises, eh? There's always a sunset and always a sunrise. So that is a constant thing, which is, of course, happening even now in the world, you know. Something which I love to meditate upon, and which of course I'm gonna go back to my celebrating COVID, and being that I celebrate COVID, whatever the case may be, gonna wait for the light to cross, and gonna wait for that red, and wait, now it can pass. Always gotta double check, you know. Gotta double check. Just gonna throw some garbage there. Always gotta double check, you know, because you want to cross on the green light, you know. It's a cutie kind of. So back to celebrating surviving COVID until Friday, I guess. Today's Wednesday, so I had it between February 7, 2020 and end of March 2020. It got really bad about mid-February till about early March, and then I started feeling better. I got triple vaxxed, 3 vaccines, and of course, having triple vaxxed it, that's it for me, 3 vaccines, and I kind of had the variants after, so I'm triple vaxxed. And what else happened is not only triple vaxxed, but to the best of my abilities, I try to keep the hygienic protocols in the public. In my videos, sometimes you see me just disinfecting the hands when I touch, you know, bacteria, microbes, germs, bacteria, microbes and germs, you know. When I touch, of course, the ATM machines, then to disinfect, and that's what I'm trying to get doing, the disinfectant, you know, something which we gotta be disinfected, because I don't know the COVID. Now there's been a revision, a revised edition, I want to say, of the origins of COVID. So being that they revised an edition, is of course on the number 1 place, CIA, state by the CIA, the revision, that it was highly more likely to have been made in a laboratory. So man-made origins, in other words, of COVID origins. Myself, I believe it was snakes, the creeping snakes, but I don't know for sure. So I cannot rule out another possibility. That's my trinity. That's my trinity on COVID. So I don't know for sure. Could have been something else. I believe it was snakes, but I cannot be certain 100%. So there's a doubt, the benefit of the doubt. Thus, I cannot rule out another possibility. What I do know for sure is that before COVID, in 2019, October, November, I had predicted an international conflagration, and I made and created and produced a workout training program system designed, made, and created to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. And I got proof of work. So fundamentally, that's of course the most things which I gotta get doing with that. So that is the most things which I gotta get doing with that. So that is the most things which I gotta get doing. And you know, passing by there, I always say that you gotta be grateful on the daily, you know. Civilization is a privilege, and that's how we gotta get on the rock and roll. See a little bit of that sun again. Cross the street here. left and right, and that's what we gotta get doing here. That's what we gotta get doing, and gonna go all the way to the mountain, my second home, my mistress, and I'm so grateful I got this sunlight, sun now. It's really something which I really appreciate, and I gotta give me some of that love with that, and gotta give me some of that love. And, feeling good. Always encourage people to work out, train, exercise. It is my medicine therapy of choice, and maybe I'm gonna take a bath later. A bath. I wish I could afford a massage therapy session. Any volunteers? Friends with benefits only. Friends with benefits only. Friends with benefits only. Thanks for understanding. Friends with benefits only. Pledge your allegiance, dollar family. 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 And that's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get on the love, you know. So sometimes we just gotta be on the LOVE, and we gotta get it on the now, and always gonna pass by the implementation. Always got to discuss that is the implementation of my trinity of theories, of course. And super important not to be overly dogmatic about my DRT specifically, because we can implement something, meaning that could be flexible, although ASPs, you know, we have routines and rituals which are kind of routine like myself, you know, for years and years I go to my second home, the mountain, Mount Royal. I do geopolitics daily, and I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist and artist and athlete who has predicted what's happening now across the world in a general manner. That's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get doing on the go. So it's something which we gotta be on the love, and we gotta be turning our heads, when left and right when we cross the street. Don't neglect. Turn your heads left and right when you cross the streets, and that's what we gotta get doing, you know, for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, firefighters. Somebody gotta sing for that boys and girls in blue. Ain't nobody perfect, that includes that me and you. And in parallel, in consequence, I'm gonna sing some of that rock and roll for those brothers and sisters who have lost their liberty and freedom, you know. The hope is for the rehabilitation and justice, and second chances, second chances, because myself, I do not like violence. I don't like violence. I do not like violence. I lived, consequently, I've been attacked by surprise a few times, and I gotta go retrieve my medical, and that's what I gotta get doing on the love, and you know, and got that retrograde amnesia. I have memory loss, you know. It's supposedly I lived where I live now for 10 years. Coming is gonna be 10 years soon, or 9 years. I gotta double check. So I used to live in a very moldy underground, like literally underground, underworld, underground. Red mold, black mold, yellowish, type of whitish, reddish, black and green mold, and lots of mold where I used to live. And I just remember moving. I moved where I live now with nothing really. I don't even remember what I had. And all my things are like either from my anonymous friend or second hand, and I had many jobs, employments which I liked, but those employments jobs were only part-time, you know. And due to Asperger's, there's a big problem with unemployment among the Asperger's community. So you know, if I ever get in a financial position, I'm gonna ensure that I try to support my fellow Aspies as well, because I got a support the other day. Well, actually, it's been a while now. It's been the other day, not really. It was almost like, I think 5 months ago. I got a donation of $25.44 for my work. Says here's from a fellow Aspie, and there's a high unemployment rate. I had many jobs which I loved. It's just that there's a lot of misunderstandings about Asperger's, how it's perceived by many as a sickness, an illness, a malady, which is not. It's just that our brains are different, and we can be extremely weird, you know. we could be extremely weird. And just gonna cross the street here, but cross my head left to right, and that's what I gotta get doing with that. The sun is shining powerful, man. So that's how we gotta go. And I love this building here. See, it's part of the mountain there, mountain. Now we're on the mountain, and that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with that. So we gotta get it on the go, you know. I gotta go get it, you know. So it is something which we gotta do it on the Mariana Palace. I wish I could paint it, but gotta get some colors. But it's a nice structure, and I always wonder if that's Corinthian, Ionic, or Doric. I really love the building here. Just triggers a little bit of past lives memory, and I gotta check. But nonetheless, it's a beautiful building, and quite majestic. I see it for a similar building to be 11 times the size for the Dragon Army, without the cross. Pyramid may be best with an eye or something, and a dragon atop instead of the cross. And that's the mountain there. See, that's the mountain. Well, we are on the mountain now, but we're the midpoint. So the three-peak mountain system right between the east and the west, but slightly south of Montreal, Hawk Island, HAWK, Hawk Island, Montreal, is there where you have it, you know. So you can see sometimes we're over there, we go on that side, and we come by the other side. Sometimes we are over there, or we come in the camera, in the videos, many videos, hundreds of videos, and when we go, it's different routes. So we take different routes to get to the destination of Mount Royal, my second home. So you got three peaks: Westmount proper, Westbound, Mount Royal, Westmount, and Outremont. So those are the three peaks: Westmount, Outremont, Mount Royal proper. So it's a three-peak mountain system, which of course is right between the center and the south. It's south of the center, meaning, but it's between the east and the west. It's right between the east and the west in how it's interjected, the position of it from the geographical perspective of the island. From the geographical perspective of the island, from the geographical perspective of the island, from the geographical perspective of the island. So that's what it is, and that's what I do, and I work out, train, exercise, and I dance, you know. So that's what it is, and I kind of like the tower there, how it is. Kind of makes me think of like a story, you know, like maybe from children's books or something that you would read to children's 3 to 7 maybe, something like that. And it's made out of candy, or part of it is made out of candy, and still gotta turn my head left and right, and that's what we gotta get doing. And as I'm going now to the mountain, I always gotta be meditating, and in the sense that in parallel to my geopolitical theories and implementation thereof, I also am an artist, and rock and roll is one of my special interests. And you know, it's 24/7. I can go on trances and rock and roll, and now I just had a little bit of a rock and roll song, and which I will to like just freestyle it a little bit. Here it goes. The sun and the clouds, I don't need to be too loud. Gotta sing it as I go. Gotta give it for you know. For the butchers and the bakers and the truckers and the nurses, firefighters, I see they gotta go. For the soldiers, as you know. For the left and right and purple. For the blue and for the nests of the trees. Nest so that you be. Gotta give it for the trees. Gotta give it for the bees. I like this white. It's white. Kind of has also like a feel of you know, one of those houses where you're kind of in it, and just kind of a house where a philosopher kind of lives. Like, I don't know, I just thought of a philosophy. of a philosophy, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing with that. So being that I thought of a philosophy, of a philosopher's house, being that I'm a philosopher, but my philosophies, of course, are for the North American collective, because I'm a Quebec Canadian North American, and that's what I do on the daily, you know, philosophizing rock and roll and geopolitics and sports and fitness. So now I gotta take a moment again, because took a little bit of too much of that LOVE, so I gotta send some love for the butchers, the bakers, the plumbers, the truckers, the electricians, those involved in the production, distribution of food, and all those with the on the cast there for the good labor, you know. And I love to work. I love my employments which I had, especially with the elderly. But Asperger's, we can be pretty intense and concentrated on focus, and there's an association with violence in a little bit. There's an association with violence, you know, but it's not where it's just the correlation, you know. There's a lot of misunderstanding still. There's been a lot of work done, especially in the 21st century. Especially in the 21st century, of what Asperger's is, which is not a mental illness, but is something which I live with. And I live with this neurodivergent, which sometimes I lost a lot of friends, you know. I made a lot of friends with benefits only from now on. Today is the 26th of March. Smiling, grateful, thankful, joyous. I'm joyous, you know. I've been scarred and memory loss and survived COVID and depressed and have scars all over my body, over the body, which I discuss. And some of them I don't know, like I have Canada tatted up on my arm, so it must have been decades ago. I got really, when I wear the flag, Canada flag, I gotta say that you can't tell me nothing, but just wanna get it on the LOZ, and I just wanna get that LOVE. So but besides the fact that I say you can't say and tell me nothing about the flag, because I got it tatted up on my right arm, and I've got the tatted arm on my right arm right there, and that's what I gotta get doing. So for the love, you know. And the fact is that now we're living in a precarious times and situations and precarious times and situation with the XYZ with that, and that's how we gotta get doing, eh? So yeah. So meaning that that I predicted what's happening now back in 2019, and meaning that we are in a tough situation. I see that the elections are going, but my brothers and sisters, maybe I should candidate. Pledge your allegiance. Organize fast. The platform can be a little bit simple. The DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE. The king is absent. The king is absent, and you know, I'm not gonna vote for anybody who pledged allegiance to the King of England. I'm not gonna vote for anybody who pledged allegiance to the King of England. I'm not gonna vote for anybody who pledged allegiance to the King of England and Britain. And the king is absent. And my king is the sun. My king is the sun. So if you want me to call you king, or I'm gonna have to come marching a minimum of 4 hours, 18 minutes, with Rainbow Dragon, aka Hana Priestess, Adrian Hana Dragon. If you want me to call you king, you're gonna have to come march with me non-stop a minimum of 4 hours and 18 minutes and 44 seconds, almost 45 seconds, almost 45. 4 hours, 18 minutes and 44 seconds and 9/11ths of a second. So close to 45 seconds. If you want me to call you king, you know. If you want me to call you king, 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 you know. So that's what we're gonna get doing with that, and so we're gonna get doing on that, you know. So that's what we gotta get that loving, you know. It's something which we gotta be on the transponent side, you know. And so we gotta get doing with that. Yeah. Interesting, because I was discussing that and the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, and there you have green and red, red and green, red and green, red and green, which is of course red and green, the colors of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, of which I'm calling the formations for, the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom is consequently my dream, which is fundamentally a call and a pledge your allegiance for a public-private partnership collective, for the collective North American civilizational complex, for the collective civilizational complex, for the collective North American civilizational complex, for the collective North American civilizational complex of North America. Speaking of, I gotta give some LOV. Farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, those warehouse workers, welders, electricians, plumbers, all those involved in the production, distribution of food, you know. Gotta give some love, salutations, hey, those in the daycares, changing some of those diapers. So, you know, that's what I gotta be doing with that rock and roll with it. So, it's for the fusion of the North through strong North and free. We gotta add some LOV to that mix, eh? Because strength and freedom is not enough. And the home of the brave, land of the free, home of the brave, where I roamed in the previous incarnations. I was born 3 times in the United States post 70-76. Once I was born a woman, twice as a man. When I was born as a man, served in the same United States Armed Forces, 2 different wars, 156 years apart, 2 different wars, 156 years apart, the wars were, but same United States Army. And you know, I believe in that reincarnations. If you don't, just read George Patton's Through a Glass Darkly. Read George Patton Through a Glass Darkly. Just gotta read Through a Glass Darkly. George Patton Through a Through a Glass Darkly. Through a Glass Darkly. And that's what we gotta get doing with that. And that's what we gotta get doing on the XYZ. And sometimes we just gotta get drilling, you know, for the love of which we have and the love of which we are to give. And sometimes it takes love with that. And that's what we gotta get doing, and gotta get doing with that, and gotta get doing on the LOV, you know. So we gotta get doing, you know. Sometimes we just gotta do it now, and so we just gotta love with that, you know. Something which we gotta be love, you know, because I guess all else is a curse, you know. Being a little bit of a curse with that. Being a little bit of a curse with that, you know. So that's what it is with that, and love, you know. But love, gotta put it in the through no strong and free, you know. So something which we gotta be transposed as, you know. We gotta be on the transmission, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing with that. Hot. Turn my head left and right. Turn my head left and right, and here we are at the top. And that's what we gotta get doing with that. And so we gotta get on the love, you know. Or good loving. Hopefully somebody making that good love with consent, you know. With consent, hug like you never hugged before. With consent, hug like you never hugged before. With consent, hug like you never hugged before, you know. That is the message. And that is what it is with that. So, with consent, hug like you never hugged before. And that's what it is with that. And that's what we gotta get doing, you know. So, yeah. That's where we are now. At the loving point. You know, so. Oh yeah, it feels good, you know. I always feel good when I come here and go to the mountain, and that's where I will to be buried, at least a third of me, in Hampton, New Jersey. Another third of the city of the pyramids. City of the pyramids. Don't do that like for Jacob Israel. Like for Jacob Israel. If you read the Bible, Genesis chapter 50, as Jacob Israel was embalmed in ancient Egypt. Jacob Israel, aka Israel, was embalmed in ancient Egypt more than 3,500 years ago. Embalmed in ancient Egypt. Interesting, eh? So now I'm going to discuss the DRT, the debt refusion theory. DRT, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, you know, for the creation of the UE. Super important, and I discuss it. The debt refusion theory. So I'm gonna go all the way. DRT, super important, and I discuss it now because it comes on the mind, and paradoxically, it is fundamentally the only solution only solution in terms that any solution has to resemble my DRT theory, my debt refusion theory, which is fundamentally a call for a public private partnership across the North American civilizational complex, across North America. That is what it is with that, and that is what it is with that. So that's what we gotta get doing for the love, you know. So meaning that the fundamental part and the aspects of it is that the debt refusion theory, or something very, very similar. Oh, that's really beautiful. That's really gorgeous. Nice. Fundamentally, in essence, the DRT theory is fundamentally the, of course, solution, or something very similar, which resembles my theory. Because due to the fact, why do I make the statement that my theory, debt refusion theory, is the only solution, or something very similar to my DRT theory is the only solution, or something very similar is my theory to my theory is the solution. Due to the fact, of course, that we now paid last year 46.5 billion just in interest on the public debt. 46.5 billion interest on the public debt. We paid 46.5 billion on the public debt. 46.5 billion. A billion is 1,000 million. A billion is 1,000 million. A billion is 1,000 million. So that's what it is with that. So the fact that the interest payments on the public debt have more than doubled, because in 2021, the number was 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion. Double would have been 40.6. That's double 20.3. That was the amount in 2021 fiscal year. That is a huge amount. It's still in the billions. But the number is staggeringly huge. This is due to the fact that a billion has 1,000 million. A billion has 9 zeros. So keep that in mind. A billion has 9 zeros, right? So the number has jumped from 20.3, which double would have been 40.6, to 46.5 billion we paid in interest only last year. So that's 46,000 million. 46,000 million. 46,000 million. That's what we paid. 46,000 million in interest only, So that's just the interest payment. So that's it doubled, yes, due to COVID it has doubled. The COVID made it so. So due to the fact that the COVID has made it so, that's why it has more than doubled. But of course the point is that it has more than doubled, and that is the only solution where we are now, you know. Where we are now is the only solution. That is the only solution where we are now, you know. So there's no other solution. But of course there is, but it has to resemble my DRT, my debt refusion theory. So it has to resemble my DRT theory. In consequence, it has to be very similar to my debt R refusion T theory, to my DRT, to my debt refusion theory. It can be resembled. Oh, the beautiful flowers, the crocuses, nice blue. I love flowers, especially yellow ones. Especially yellow ones, especially yellow ones. Buy this from my anonymous friend. Gonna split 50-50. 438-828-3428, 438-828, 3428, 438-828, 3428, and I can split 50-50 with my anonymous friend, who wasn't my friend because of the money and whatever the case may be. But I'll be very close to the mountain here, but anywhere on the island, the Montreal Hawk, H-A-W-K, Hawk Island is fine by me. Anywhere on the island, H-A-W-K is fine by me. So yours truly, due to the fact, of course, that the interest payments have more than doubled. That is a point to retain. And of course, our GDP hasn't doubled. The economy of Canada only increased 1%, 2%. Sometimes it went negative. So that is the problem. Because in the same mathematical financial principle applies, if an individual citizen, and of course, debt doubles. Not debt per se, but the interest. Let's say he paid the citizen X, citizen X paid $156 in interest in 2020, 2021, 2021, and of course the number would have been, of course, double, more than double after 3 years. So of course, if the salary doesn't double, one has to reduce the spending. One has to cut and reduce the spending. That is just the mathematical financial principle. One has to cut and reduce the spending. The spending has to be cut because it's not sustainable. That's just how it is. The interest payments on the Canadian public debt have more than doubled. Just like an individual has to cut the spending, the buying whatever, going out to the movies, buying. I don't smoke cigarettes, but cigarettes are gotten more expensive. And of course, liquor, cannabis is legal, whatever the case may be. With the expenditures, the citizen, he, she, they, has to, of course, reduce the spending. There's no way out of it. But the reduction has to be done. Because in essence, fundamentally, only if the salary also doubles, then it can be sustained. How many salaries, again, do you know that have doubled? Because the average salary increase has been in the past 5 years, from 2020 2025, 4.4%. From 2020 2025, the average salary increase has been 4.4%. The average salary increase has been 4.4% since 2020 2021. That was the average salary increase. 2020 2021 2020 2025, correction. In the past 5 years, the average salary has increased only by 4.4%. That's far from double. If it increases by 5, 10, 15%, even then, one has to reduce the spending. It cannot be sustained. The same mathematical financial principle applies to the public debt. Because our GDP hasn't doubled. You realize that today, when I go back, it's possibility to be on the news, a black swan event in the public finances, and also much of the private is on the horizon with record debt. You realize where we are now in March, going into April, with tariffs increasing even higher. Tariffs increasing even higher. So the DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the tariffs increasing, and the fact that the interest on the debt has doubled. So the point is that one has to reduce the spending. And if it's in the case for a private individual citizen like myself, let's say, I don't have credit cards, but I have a credit line. So I pay 10.44 interest. I'll go now. 10.44 10.44 interest. 10.44 interest, that's my interest payments. But nonetheless, I don't have credit cards. But somebody who does, and whose interest payments more than double, which has happened with the public, the interest on the Canadian public debt went from 20.3 billion, double would have been 40.6. So it went to 46.5 billion. So that the amount has more than doubled. 20.3 times 2, that's 40.6. So it was 46.5, you know. So that is just a fact which happened. Anyways, that is the point. I like the truck. I like the truck. I like it, the truck. I don't know if it's done by hand, but it's nice. It's nice, it's nice. It's a nice truck. Nice. I like it how it is. Actually, I thought it was military, but it's kind of military, but it's, you know, the spikes from the evergreens. This kind of like the spikes. Really wickedly in a good way, you know, not in the malicious sense of the evil kind of sense. Wicked. But nonetheless, back to the DRT theory. The point is that the interest payments have doubled, just the interest. So thus, it cannot be sustained. The interest payments have doubled, so it cannot be sustained. The spending cannot be sustained. So that is just what happens. So just like the public and the private is the similar financial situation. That's why I'm making a statement that my DRT theory is the only solution, or something very similar. Or something very similar to my theory is the solution. Something very similar is the solution to my theory. Anybody want to find us that I go up and down these stairs 300 times, up and down these stairs? I'm gonna do some solar salutation. This is the throne of God. Beautiful sky. Just gonna do some solar salutations. So anybody want to find us that I go up and down these stairs 300 times for $300 Canadian? Gonna give half, 50-50 of every billion, million, trillion to my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money. 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 Because I never had any, so that's what we gotta get doing with that. So back to what I was saying, you know, the DRT, that refused for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange in it, is the solution. There we go. We made it to my second home, my mistress. Pledge your allegiance to our family. And off we go on the internal. So the DRT, debt refusion theory, is the only solution, or something similar to my DRT theory. Again, due to the fact that we have now record-breaking interest payments, which, yes, due to COVID, have more than doubled since 2021. Last year was 46.5 billion. 4 years ago, in 2020, 2021, it was 20.3. 20.3 double is 40.6. It was last year 46.5. So do the math. A billion is 1,000 million. That was 46,000 million. So it's possible of a black swan event, a potential public financial collapse. 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 Just gonna let my main out. Let my main out for this one, because we're in the wilderness. My mistress, the second home, so Gotta let my mane out. Auctioning some locks of hair. Auctioning some hair. $1 million per lock. Few inches. $1 million per lock. $1 million per lock. If you want to shave my head, it's gonna be $1 billion. If you want to shave my head, it's gonna be $1 billion. If you do want to shave my head, it's gonna be $1 billion. But otherwise, if you want a little lock, it's $1 million. $1 million. $1 million for the shoes. $1 million for the underwear. $1 million for the pants. $1 million for the hoodie. $1 million for the red coat. That's what I gotta get doing, you know. That's what I gotta get doing. $1 million for the coat, and my fellow citizen there, I think it's somebody I spoke with about 2-3 years ago, was asking me what I was doing on the filming, and I think that person who jogged, citizen, considered my family here, my second home. But I think 2-3 years ago, maybe even 4, asked me what I was doing because I was cleaning. Because I do volunteering here, eh? For years and years and years inside. I clean the cans, the bags, the things which are not supposed to be left on the mountain, like this, you know. Like this. This has to be recycled because this one has to be swallowed. There's a 5 and a 5. It says storm. It says storm on it. So I'm gonna storm you. Don't leave it. Put it in the recycling. This could be swallowed. We have rabbits, chipmunks, squirrels, hawks, birds. I don't know about wolves, but whatever the case may be. Put it in the recycling. There's recycling there. There's plenty of places to recycle. So please make an effort. Please make an effort. And here we came last week in the darkness, meaning at night. So now we're gonna getting on that during the day. But I gotta get back to the DRT because I haven't finished it. I haven't finished discussing the implementation and fully what exactly the DRT theory is, but nonetheless, I'm gonna see, you already got a lock. Here. So that's $1 million right there. That's $1 million right there. Anyways, so back to the DRT theory, the debt refusion theory. The DRT, debt refusion theory stands for D, debt refusion theory. The DRT, debt refusion theory. The DRT, debt refusion theory integrates in it monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is a financial theory which was implemented in the European Union in the 90s. So my debt refusion theory, the DRT, which is the only solution or something very similar to it, because we have a possibility of a black swan event on the horizon for the public financial system of Canada, but due to the excess interest stress. So that's what it is, you know. So my DRT theory for Canada, both United States, because I'm calling it for we implemented Canada first, King is option, but also Canada joint fused United States, because United States brothers and sisters are in the same much of the private public financial situation. So here it is explained, and again, keep in mind that my DRT theory contains monetary integration theory. So of course we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, 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 you know. Oh, first of 2025. Woodpecker, what you pecking on, woodpecker? I know I gotta see. You got that red, black and white or red. That's that woodpecker song. I gotta sing it. DRT, Rainbow Dragon Family. I love me some flora, I love me some fauna. Here on the mountain, that's the mistress on the kingdom, goddess. Blessed so you know, got it blessings. You go chipping on the tree. That's the chipping. Woodpecker, sing me a song, would ya? Woodpecker, pecking, you know I got some loving. Yeah, DRT, back to the DRT. First one of 2025. Just gonna let him work. So the DRT that review integrates in a monetary integration theory. It is the only or something similar as a financial solution. There's no other way where we are now fundamentally, where we have arrived with both the public and the private debt. Consequentially, both the public and the private debt. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, including my $10,000. So I have $10,000 in debt to the RBC. So my $10,000, your $10,000. He, she, days, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, all the public and the private debt, we're gonna take it together. So all of it fused together, coast to coast, public and the private debt, we're gonna convert it into US dollars. Convert it into US dollars because the United States still is the currency of choice for world business, world trade, and global commerce and international finance. So we're gonna take all the public private debt, we're gonna convert it into US dollars. To US dollars. Into US dollars, into US dollars, into US dollars. So all the public private debt converted into US dollars, converted into US dollars, converted into US dollars. All the public and the private debt converted into US dollars, we're gonna add it all together. Add it all together. With the US. Other countries, if they will, of the North American Collectif, the civilizational complex of North America, of which Mexico, Haiti, Dominican Republic are part of. But first, simultaneously, Canada, coast to coast, and United States similarly. So coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all of it. My 10,000 included, because I got a credit line of 10,000. So my debt, your debt, my 10,000, yours, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. So all the debt, public and private, my 10,000 included, your 10,000, whatever the case may be, all the debt. All the debt, public and private, public and private, public and private, public and private debt. So all the debt, public and private, we're gonna convert it into US dollars, into US dollars, all the debt to US dollars. By the way, I gotta bring it to the attention for my fellow citizens, local, national, international, who come visit us here in Quebec, La Belle Province, Montreal, that be aware that the falling branches is a possibility here. Sometimes I toss them from the side of the road to the sides. But of course, there's a possibility of falling branches. So there's an increased security risk. There's an increased security risk. There is an increased security risk. There's an increased security risk. There's an increased security risk, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing. There's an increased security risk. So that's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get on the go. So see, here we are with that, and that's where we are here, man. You know, so gotta be careful on the prudence. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, my 10,000, your 10,000, our 10,000. So all the debt, public and the private debt, right? Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. All the public private debt, we're gonna convert it into US dollars. All the public and the private debt, we're gonna be converted it into US dollars. All the public private debt, we're gonna convert it into US dollars, into US dollars, into US dollars, into US dollars. All the public private debt, we're gonna convert it into US dollars. So all the public and the private debt, we're gonna convert it to US dollars. All that debt, we're gonna add it up with the US dollars, with the US dollars, with the US dollars, all of it. And so, all the public private debt added to the US dollars, we're gonna add it with the US dollars. That number is gonna be in the trillions. That will be the initial money supply for a new central bank. Because remember, I mentioned that my debt refusion theory integrates monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory. That's what it integrates. So my debt, your debt, our debt, and that's what it is with that. That's what it is with that, with it. So all the debt, public and private debt, we're gonna convert it into US dollars. All the debt, public and private debt, convert it into US debt. That's gonna be the public and the private debt converted to US dollars of Canada, added with the United States debt. That's gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank, That money is gonna be in the trillions. That money is gonna be in the trillions. We're gonna set an interest rate level of 10%. It could be less. It could be 6.1, 3.33, 1.56, 4.18, 7.18, 6.1. 6.1. That's what it's gonna be. So we're gonna take all the public-private debt, convert it into US dollars. That's gonna be the initial money supply for this new central bank, and we're gonna issue a new currency called the UE. U dot universal, U dot exchange, U dot unit. The UE, the U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The UE, the universal exchange unit with the value of the US dollar. Because remember, my DRT theory, debt fusion theory, includes monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory. So all the debt, public and private, that's going to be the initial money supply. All the public and the private debt. All that debt going to be the initial money supply for this new central bank. With that money, we're going to rebuild the infrastructure of the North American Collective. We're going to rebuild the infrastructure of the North American Collective. We're going to rebuild the infrastructure. We're going to rebuild, of course, mass rebuild the infrastructure of the North American Collective. We're going to rebuild the aqueducts, the sewers. We're going to mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise. We're going to mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise. Mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise. We're going to do a lot of good with that. And that's what we're going to be doing with that, So that's mass financing the building of more hydroelectric dams, mass finance citizens fitness, mass finance tourism, because it did me lots of good. Mass finance, of course, the rebuilding of the infrastructure, the aqueducts, the sewers, build more hydroelectric dams, mass finance citizens fitness, mass finance tourism, and start building those 44 tunnels. Constructing 44 mass megatunnels inspired by the Cheyenne Mountain Complex and the Montreal Underground Village in case of a thermonuclear war. For the continuity of the North American Civilizational Complex. For the continuity of the North American Civilizational Complex. For the continuity of the North American Civilizational Complex. For the continuity of the North American Civilizational Complex. So we're going to build those 44 tunnels. We're going to build those 44 tunnels and stack them with food, which is going to last 3.5 years, 5 years, 7 years, 11 years, more than 44 years. And stack them with food, cans of food, of course. We're going to stack them, mega build them, and get that North American Criminal Rehabilitation Act and put some of our brothers and sisters to work for amnesty to build those 44 tunnels as well. But it's a must that we start the building of those 44 tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war. Because you wonder, why did China, the People's Republic of China, not Taiwan? Because Taiwan is known as officially as the Republic of China, while mainland China is known as the People's Republic of China. That is the People's Republic of China. So nonetheless, they increased their nuclear warhead stockpiles, their nuclear arms stockpiles, their stockpiles of nuclear weapons in the past 5 years since March 2020. In 5 years, they've increased it by more than 25%, close to a third, from 450 to more than 600 now. You wonder, how come during 44 years they haven't built new nuclear warheads? And last year, in October, November, in more than 44 years, they haven't tested an ICBM. And just out of nowhere, last year, they tested ICBMs. Last ICBM test for China was 1980. So more than 44 years ago. 1980 is more than 44 years. 1980, early 1980s, I think they said February 11th, February 20th, maybe February 15th, or not sure exactly, maybe March, January or June, whatever. It was more than 44 years. More than 44 years. So that is the point that I have tested, and you wonder how come they just increased and mass built nuclear warheads by such a big percentage. such a big percentage. So we gotta get Canada, North America, the DRT, and we gotta get on that gold dome for the protection of the North American collective, and we gotta implement my total mobile TM DT, total mobile defense theory, TMDTS, or the TMDTS, the T total M mobile defense theory. Hey, look at the ducks. Y'all back! Y'all back! Y'all back for the quack! Y'all back for the quack! Y'all back for the quacker! Look how beautiful, eh? That's why I don't pollute. Like, we got lots of flora here. You know, there's plenty of civilization, and we want to preserve it here. We want to preserve it. So for them, you know, that's why I do a lot of volunteering, because, you know, it takes the individual action for the environment. And by the DRT, Debt Refusion TV, we're going to create the DGA Dancing Goddess Army for the North American Integrated Dance League, the North American Integrated Dance League, the North American Integrated Dance League, to plant more trees, to plant more trees, to plant more trees. And that's what we're going to get doing to the plantation of more trees. And we're going to get for that plantation, and that's what we're going to get doing, you know, for the plantation of more trees with that. And there's the ducks with that, you know. So anyways, let's check a little bit of the ducks. Gotta get out of the way, the ducks there, you know. Anyways, so with the DRT, we're gonna be able to create the North American Integrated Dance League in order to plant more trees, of course. That plantation, good for you. Keep on the jogging, and that's what I gotta get doing. So I always encourage people to work out, train, exercise, and that's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get doing, you know. So it's something which we gotta do on the go, you know. So something which we gotta be on the go here, you know. So something which we gotta get on the love, you know. So good for you. Keep on jogging. Good for you. I love seeing that. So we're going to be able to mass finance people to jog and do my workout training program system, which I created back in 2019. And we're going to mass finance it with that, mass finance it with that. Here, I got to thank the public workers. Thank the public workers who built this. I would love to paint all this. Like, give me some blue, some red, some green. You know, I'm just gonna volunteer to paint the stairs, all of them. Just bring me the tools, the permission, I'll volunteer, you know. Just put some color on it. Oh, maybe, but it has to be a little bit environmental. Maybe just some environmental things, I get it. But nonetheless, this was painted black. I would have loved it. Black is nice, but maybe black and something else. Black and green would have been nice, whatever. But I'm still grateful, don't get me wrong. Because this is a new complex built here. This wasn't here until last year, so that's what we gotta get doing with that. And so we gotta get doing on the go, you know. So it's something which we gotta be putting on those rocks. So the debt refusion theory is the only solution. DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the universal exchange. There's no other solution. Brothers and sisters, you can argue all you want, but fundamentally my debt refusion theory is the solution. There's no other way. Or something very similar to my debt refusion theory. We're at a point of we are on the verge of a possible financial collapse, of the public finances, because our GDP, the GDP of Canada has not doubled. The GDP of Canada has not doubled, while the interest only on the public debt has more than doubled. You get it? Just like an individual citizen, if the income, the salary doesn't double and the interest payments double, one has to reduce the spending. What are we going to cut in the public? The police, the RCMP, the prisons, the public health care, those who pick up the garbage. Tomorrow's the compost. I had the opportunity to work a few months, I think 3.5 months in 2018 when 2018 you know. So that's what it is with that. In 2018, you know. So in 2018, you know. So in 2018, you know, 2018, when I worked on the compost, on the compost project, and that was, of course, a nice experience to do it, and that's why we gotta get it on the go, you know. So, being that that's a good experience, you know, that's something which we gotta be. There's poems, by the way, here. that says surprise, like kind of like taking somebody by surprise. Surprendre. So I appreciate that. So the DRTTV, they're gonna have to cut in the budget. You realize that's not sustainable. You're not sustainable with that. So that's what we're gonna get doing, you know. The regard scrutin la ville, that means the people who look at the city. So that's what we gotta get doing on the love. So that's what we gotta get doing on that drill, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing, you know. So something which we gotta be on the doers. Here we are at the Belvedere. The Belvedere. Top my second home. The Belvedere Conjurac, and here where we are, you know. Top the Belvedere Conjurac, my second home, and here where we are. You need some of that US flag with it there. US flag and the House of the Dragon flag. Flag of the Dragon. And now there's more people. See, if you see my videos during winter, like when it's cold and when it's winter, there's not a lot of people. But now, more people come, you know. It increases, you know. It increases in people who come here. You see, look at the flags. There's the Canadian flag. So that's the city of Montreal. Montreal City, the flag, the white one, white and red one is Montreal. Let's go by the side, and here I love to come here. So just imagine, gotta give a salutation to the public workers. This water, to have water here atop the mountain, all the work, just to have this water, all the work it was done here. First to have water here on the mountain. Think about the engineering of it. I don't know who did it, but wow, gotta give some salutation, eh? To have water on the mountain, think about that. How it was built, to put the aqueducts, so it's engineering, it's brains and muscle, right? To have the pipes go upwards, right? The pipes have to go upwards. So think about that. To have water, this is clean water there, right? So to have clean water here, clean water atop the mountain, imagine, I'm assuming because I don't know, but how they drew the pipes just to build it, and they go upwards, right? So it flows kind of upward, so there must be a pump system to have the clean water. Just think about it. It's quite something if you think about it, the engineering of it, eh? It's a privileged civilization, eh? To have the running water here, must have been kind of a, I don't know, man. Whoever you did it, big hugs, big love, and I appreciate it, you know? I kind of envisioned it how it was done, but civilization is a privilege, man. Civilization is a privilege, you know? Yeah, man. Civilization. I wonder now if those people who did it are still alive. I would love to give them a hug, like how you guys did it, you know? Anyways, here's at the top of the mountain, and gonna switch a little bit to that French. We're gonna get going with that, and gotta give some salutations to the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the firefighters, grocery store clerks. See how the island goes? The island. So we're surrounded by a big river. So that's right. So Montreal is an island, basically. It's a big island, of course, but nonetheless, we're completely surrounded by a body of waters, the St. Lawrence River. So the St. Lawrence River goes roundabout, and there you have the bridges, Champlain Bridge, and also other bridges, and that's my favorite skyscraper there. That's the favorite skyscraper. So butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and you can see some ships, and this is my second home, the Belvedere, and gotta get it for the Belvedere, man, and gotta get it for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and those who have the water here to get that water. It's really gonna get myself some of that hydration. I don't think it works here now, but maybe, you know, maybe a little bit. Let's see. Oh, not yet. I'm gonna have to go inside, and that's what we gotta get doing, you know. So nonetheless, hey, here's the stickers. That's what they're gonna get doing with that, and gonna get doing on the XYZ. Anyways, Nice, man. All right, and here we are, man. So here you can also check, those are part of the historical events. Historical events, you know. Those are historical events from Quebec, Canada. So you can see it. You know what I want to commission, but I'm broke, financially broke, but I want to commission the buildings of the hydroelectric dams. Like Hydro-Quebec. That should be like, because that's 20th century. So if you look around, it's like all historical events. Canada, Confederation, even before, see? Louisiana, that was Nouvelle-France, so kind of goes like that. Those are the coureurs de bois, the traders, and then it goes like this. You know? So we need some new ones here, you know? There you go, that's kind of what it is there. History, you know? Quebec here. We love our French here, you know? We're picky about the language, but besides that, we're very welcoming, very loving, and we just love our French, you know? Myself included, you know? Singing some of that rock and roll, you know? So we gotta get it on the love, and that's what it is with that, and that's what it is for the go, to get it on the go. So it's something which we gotta be mindful of, you know, because we gotta get some of that loving with it. And thank you to those who build the public workers with it, and that's what we're gonna get doing, you know? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pardon, sorry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so now we got a hydration, and here you can take some chips. You can come and serve coffee here if you want. This is nice, you know. You have a place, and Americano, cappuccino, so you can come enjoy here. So that's cool. This is cool. So now we're just gonna go in the back, you know. We're gonna go in the back. Gonna go in the back. Here we are in these little bit of color. This is the headquarters of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, you know. So that's what we are, you know. So it's something which we gotta be admitted to do, you know. So victory, man. Victory, yes. The children said victory. As they took the stairs. That was beautiful. That was the best event of the day. That little child, I'm not sure the age, but I just heard victory for the youth, man. We gotta build those 44 towers for the youth. The victory. My children, I don't have children of my own children, but you know, just love the youth, and I want to be loved and love people in generally, you know. But Aspies, we're just strange, but we love, you know, just we want to be loved and want to love just like neurotypicals, the majority, 99.9% is 0.44%. That's what it is with that. That's what it is with that. Alright, so the DRT, debt refusion theory, and we're gonna go in the back, and we're gonna switch a little bit of our French, you know, because here we are in La Belle Province. So, and then we're just gonna rock and roll it, and we're gonna switch it to that French. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go take, because I haven't been in 2025, you know, 2025, 2025, and that's what it is with that. 2025 to give it on the go, and this is a place of preservation of nature, and that's what they gotta do, you know. So that's what I mean. That's what they've been doing, you know. So it's not a problem. There we go, you know. So what I want to do now is just go take a peek there, but we're gonna switch to the French. Hey, ready? Hey, bienvenue. Et on est déjà sur la montagne québécoise. Je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. Et sur la montagne de Montréal, ma maîtresse, c'est pas juste la mienne. C'est la mienne, la tienne, la vôtre, la nôtre. Puis faites attention aux arbres. Bien sûr, c'est les arbres. Les arbres, c'est les arbres qui vont tomber de temps en temps. Là. C'est des arbres qui sont pas si en santé que ça. C'est pour ça que je vous prie toujours, parce que pour pas laisser des choses dans la forêt, là, pour pas que vous laissez des choses qui peuvent encombrer la nature, la flore et la faune, comme du plastique, plastique, du verre, des choses comme ça, des choses qui sont pas biodégradables là, dans la nature, juste les mettre dans les poubelles, dans les vidanges. Les travailleurs publics et merci grâce, ils vont s'en occuper bien, fait que c'est des choses que je dois le faire moi-même, mais c'est des choses qui sont dans cette conséquence de visitation, puis d'avoir cette nature ici, cette nature que ma maîtresse, je dis, c'est ma deuxième maison, mais je suis quand même soumis, mais soumis d'une manière, pas comme un esclave, là, pas l'entente d'esclave, esclave, là, mais comme une participation commune, une entente mutuelle qui est bénéfice. On a des bénéfices mutuels, tu sais. C'est dans le temps un peu plus philo-spirituel, philosophique spirituel, mais c'est quand même des choses que je dois quand même avoir l'encombrage d'avoir cette place pour venir, puis ça fait des années que je viens dans une autre vie aussi. Des fois, j'étais né direct là, un couple de fois, j'étais né homme-femme, femme-homme, des fois, maintenant, mais vous savez, messieurs, madame, 50-50, androgyne, pansexuel, puis c'est les choses que je dois le faire moi-même, tu sais, dans la vie, tu sais, c'est des choses que je dois méditer, faire une méditation, puis faire une méditation que on est pour s'en sortir des temps difficiles qu'on vit, puis c'est sûr que je dois quand même dire ma gratitude, même si je vis un stress financièrement, je vis un stress financier, mais je dois saluer quand même, tu sais. J'ai de quoi manger chez nous, j'ai de la nourriture, j'ai du café, j'ai du thé, j'en ai comme 3 là, qui me restent, là, mais je pense que j'ai comme 2 piastres pour m'en acheter si j'en ai besoin. Je bois plus de café que d'autres, que du thé à la place, mais bien sûr, j'ai payé mon loyer, payé ma facture d'électricité, mais le mois de mars finit bientôt. C'est des choses que je dois faire moi-même ici. C'est la montagne, tu sais, pour m'avoir, tu sais, faire dans la ville de Montréal. La ville de Montréal, tu sais, c'est l'île de Montréal qu'on est présent, puis je dois saluer les pompiers, puis quand je les vois, les grues, j'adore ça voir les grues, puis les travailleurs qui s'en montent sans haut, je vous respecte, je vous admire, hein. Vous avez quand même du courage, puis du savoir-faire, puis des muscles, puis du cerveau pour monter en haut sur la grue, tu sais. C'est quand même quelque chose que j'encourage voir les gens, puis félicitations les travailleurs en construction, je vous fais appel pour construire le Colisée du peuple impérial, puis j'encourage les gens comme mon citoyen en rouge, pourtant ma couleur préférée, qui fait de l'entraînement physique, pour en faire, bien sûr, c'est quelque chose que je dois quand même faire moi aussi, puis c'est quelque chose que je dois quand même avoir de l'appréciation moi-même dans cette ville ici où on vit ensemble, puis tu sais, la pyramide qui est là, direct dans le gratte-ciel, c'est ça que j'aime le plus de la ville, là, en tant que la métropole, que je veux dire, mon gratte-ciel préféré, c'est celle-là que vous voyez direct devant vous, la métropole. Bon, là, si je me dirige, je vais retourner parce que il faut que je me retourne chez nous pour manger parce que j'ai du travail à faire. Je dois contacter des institutions de l'autisme et de l'Asperger's pour avoir du soutien de l'autisme et de l'Asperger's, Asperger's et de l'autisme. L'Asperger's et l'autisme, c'est une condition avec laquelle je vis, l'Asperger's. C'est l'autisme au moment fonctionnel, puis ça a été quand même problématique à garder un emploi, avoir des choses comme ça, parce que à long terme, je veux dire, j'ai eu bien des emplois que j'ai bien aimés, mais c'est juste que c'est plus difficile de maintenir un emploi à cause de l'Asperger's, l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, avec cette situation de neurodivergence avec laquelle je vis, puis je fais partie de cette minorité de moins d'1%, moins de 0,5%. C'est 0,44%. Hein? C'est une petite minorité des citoyens qui vivent avec l'Asperger's, l'autisme hautement fonctionnel. Notre cerveau est fait différemment. Fait que nous, certaines choses, c'est vraiment difficile pour nous. Par exemple, tu sais, des choses, des normes comme non écrites de la société, le comportement de la société. Mettons, je vous donne un exemple. Tu sais, l'espace personnel qu'on garde 1 mètre ou 2-3 pieds là, de distance de quelqu'un. Les Asperger's, les Aspi, ou comme les autistes non fonctionnels, on va se rapprocher proche du visage, tellement proche du corps, à 2-3 pouces. À 2-3 pouces, à 2-3 pouces de la personne. Fait que cette personne va être comme peut-être intimidée un peu, puis c'est des choses que je dois faire un effort, que les aspects, on doit faire un effort vis-à-vis ces comportements de la société non écrite, parce que nous, on voit le monde différemment. On est différent. On est différent. C'est juste que on ne voit pas le monde de la même manière. C'est notre cerveau est différent. Puis c'est pas une maladie. Il n'y a pas de traitement, c'est pas des symptômes. C'est des caractéristiques. C'est des caractéristiques que je dois travailler dessus pour que je fasse un effort. L'Asperger's, ben, je vis avec l'Asperger's depuis plus que 44 mois là, que j'ai accepté parce que ça faisait des années qu'on m'avait diagnostiqué, tu sais. Ça faisait des années qu'on m'avait diagnostiqué, tu sais. Ça faisait des années qu'on m'avait diagnostiqué, tu sais. C'est des choses comme ça que je dois faire, fait que ça faisait des années qu'on m'avait diagnostiqué là-dessus, fait que c'est des choses comme ça que je dois faire ici, ma deuxième maison, le Mont-Royal, puis c'est sûr que je fais partie de cette minorité de citoyens, 0,44%, qui vivent avec cette situation de neurodivergence. Hein? De neurodivergence. Puis c'est pas une maladie mentale, encore une fois, mais il y a beaucoup de confusion, beaucoup de malentendus, parce qu'il y a beaucoup d'associations entre l'autisme non fonctionnel et la maladie mentale. Mais c'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est juste la neurodivergence. C'est juste que je vois le monde différemment. Fait que les choses comme l'espace personnel et tout ça, et les choses de l'espace personnel, et quand savoir quand parler, quand ne pas parler, puis tu sais, les choses comme ça viennent plus difficiles, puis ça peut encombrer à l'emploi, parce que il y a bien des choses qu'il faut nous dire plus directement, et des fois, on semble être direct, comme on peut offenser les gens, mais c'est pas parce qu'on veut offenser, c'est des fois on est direct, puis on peut avoir l'air un peu abrasif, tu sais, un peu trop direct, un peu offensif dans cette manière, ou intense, puis on est intense, on peut être intense, surtout quand ça vient aux intérêts spéciaux. Ces intérêts spéciaux, c'est vraiment des intérêts spéciaux qu'on appelle obsessif, mais je n'utilise pas obsessif parce qu'obsessif, c'est d'une manière, obsessif, c'est négatif. Fait que c'est plus des intérêts spéciaux qu'on a que ça nous préoccupe. Nos routines, on a ces routines-là. Fait que moi, c'est toujours, depuis des années, au quotidien, l'analyse, la théorie de la géopolitique. C'est la géopolitique 24/24. C'est la danse, l'entraînement physique 24/24. C'est le rock'n'roll 24/24. Ça, c'est ma trinité d'intérêts spéciaux. Fait que je peux partir, je vais faire du rock'n'roll au quotidien. Je peux en chanter des chansons du rock'n'roll au quotidien. Je peux en faire de la géopolitique au quotidien. La danse, l'entraînement physique, ben j'adore tout ce qu'il y a à sport. Le hockey, faites pas ça, là. Mettez ça dans le recyclage. Ça, là, ça ne dérange pas que je vous veux, mais ça va tuer, là, la flore, la faune, là, de ça. Faut pas que vous laissez ça, là. Ça peut tuer, ça. Comme ça, ici, là. Ça, c'est peut-être à quelqu'un, là, mais ça, c'est quoi, ça, ici? Laissez pas ça, s'il vous plaît. Là. Laissez pas ça, s'il vous plaît. Ça, je vais l'amener aux objets perdus. Un foulard, peut-être quelqu'un va retourner, là, mais c'est un peu mouillé. Mais ça, il faut que ça soit recyclé, ça. Tout ça, là, tu sais. Ah, je commence, j'en fais depuis des années, j'en fais du bénévolat ici, là. Fait que, là, ça fait pour l'enfer, mais si quelqu'un revient pour le prendre, ça, je vais amener ça aux objets perdus. Fait que juste pour dire que cette condition de neurodivergence, ça fait que je vis avec cette condition de l'autisme non fonctionnel. Puis moi, j'adore venir ici, hein. C'est ma deuxième maison, c'est le Mont-Royal. Puis ici, je fais toujours la méditation géopolitique l'entraînement physique, puis la danse, c'est le sport que je préfère, tu sais. C'est le sport que je préfère, ça aussi, là, oubliez ça, là. Ça, c'est pas bon, ça. Faites pas ça. Mettez ça dans l'évidence, mettez ça. Ça, il faut pas que ça soit dans l'évidence, ça, c'est une place spéciale. Si on veut faire pour l'environnement, là, il faut faire l'individu aussi, hein. Si l'individu, on le fait pas, mais ça prend du travail individuel en tant que tel, là, c'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on fasse un effort. Bon, là, je vis avec l'autisme, je vis avec ça, je vis avec mes cicatrices, je vis avec la perte de mémoire, puis aujourd'hui, je célèbre, hein, jusqu'à la fin de mars, là, je célèbre ayant survécu la COVID, ayant survécu la COVID, ayant survécu la COVID, tu sais? Ayant survécu la COVID entre le 7 février 2020 et fin de mars 2020. Pensez vraiment que j'allais mourir. Pensez vraiment j'allais mourir. Je pensais vraiment j'allais mourir. Je dis souvent si je meurs. Je dis souvent je suis mort. T'sais. Fait quand je suis mort, bien sûr, dans ma grotte, là, mais d'une manière, là, je suis vivant maintenant, mais je veux dire, je suis en train de renaître, il n'y a rien que je veux retourner en arrière, là, mais juste vivre aujourd'hui, puis c'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on fasse dans la gratitude, puis je célèbre, je victoire sur la COVID, et je vis avec mes cicatrices, je vis avec l'amnésie rétrograde, la perte de mémoire, puis je vis avec mes cicatrices, j'ai beaucoup de cicatrices sur le corps, là. J'ai de la misère à me rappeler de ma jeunesse, mon enfance, comme un blackout là, de mémoire. Je m'en souviens avoir déménagé d'une place où il y avait beaucoup de moisissures, puis c'est comme un gros blackout. Je pourrais pas dire, là, je faisais de la drogue quand j'étais jeune, là, c'est possible que ça a fait, mais qu'est-ce que je sais, c'est que j'étais en dépression suicidaire en 2017. J'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression. En 2017, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression. Quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, puis j'encourage les gens à voyager s'ils peuvent, on a tellement un gros et grand pays. Fait qu'en faisant le voyage, j'ai établi un esprit de corps solide avec le Québec et les Québécoises. Puis vous êtes ma famille, puis les Canadiens aussi. Puis tous ceux qui viennent nous rejoindre, évidemment, parce qu'on le devient toujours, tu sais. Dans le collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, on le devient, puis on intègre le plus possible, puis on s'intègre de la manière qu'on vit, tu sais. Fait que ça, c'est ici que ça va, fait que je vais le faire ici. Et voilà, ça c'est les objets perdus ici. Il va s'en occuper, vous pouvez le mettre là, puis les autres s'en occupent. C'est les objets perdus ou l'autre bord. Fait que si vous trouvez des foulards ou des choses comme ça, vous les amenez ici. Vous les amenez là, tu sais. C'est des choses comme ça, c'est des choses comme ça. C'est des choses comme ça, tu sais. Des choses comme ça, tu sais. Oh, c'est that's it, that's all. Puis c'est comme ça, comme ci, comme ça, puis that's it, that's all. Que ça soit, tu sais. Tu sais, fait que that's it, that's all. C'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on aille, tu sais. Fait que ici, c'est bien sûr le chalet, le Belvédère, le fameux chalet, le Belvédère. Ça a un peu plus de couleurs, j'imagine qu'un petit peu plus de couleurs, ça ferait quelque chose de plus de mieux, tu sais. Ça ferait quelque chose de plus de mieux. Hey, en tout cas, fait que pour en faire, bien sûr, de cet encombrement, mais je pense que c'est des gens avec des fois, on me salue, puis je les salue comme ma famille, quand je vois depuis que j'ai traversé le Canada depuis 2017, tu sais. Depuis 2017, ils ont traversé le Canada de côte à côte, tu sais. De côte à côte, en traversant le Canada de 2017. C'est là que j'ai établi un esprit de corps solide avec le Québec, Québécois et Canadiens, et Nord-Américains aussi, parce qu'on est Nord-Américains. On constitue un collectif émergent ici. On est un nouveau collectif émergent. Tu sais, on est émergent, on n'est pas diversité de l'Occident, mais on a des distinctions. On a des distinctions avec l'Occident. Fait que mes initiatives, protocoles, philosophies sont fondamentalement pour le collectif de l'Amérique du Nord. Parce que je suis québécois, canadien, nord-américain. En 2017, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression. Avant ça, j'étais en dépression suicidaire. J'ai traversé le Canada, puis ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression pour que ça soit, bien sûr, dans l'encombrement que ça soit ici. Là. Mais bien sûr, je vis au quotidien tous les jours. Mais bien sûr, en vivant au quotidien tous les jours, j'ai l'espoir pour demain. Fait que c'est des choses que j'adore venir ici, là, pour en faire, tu sais. C'est ça. Fait que c'est des choses qu'il faut que je sois aimé ici, tu sais. Pour le faire, tu sais. Pour le faire sur le Mont-Royal. Sur le Mont-Royal, tu sais. C'est pour en faire, bien sûr, des choses sur le Mont-Royal, tu sais, qu'on est rendu en haut. Puis votre dragon arc-en-ciel, vous discutez la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Parce que c'est important, ça sort de la malédiction de l'Asperger, de l'autiste hautement fonctionnel que j'ai eu. Fait que ça fait bien sûr cet encombrement, bien sûr, que j'ai eu moi-même, tu sais, de l'encombrement. de l'encombrement, mais c'est quand même une bénédiction, puis c'est juste s'entraînerait parce que c'est mon rock'n'roll, des fois c'est plus de la comédie, mais j'imagine. Ben la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est la théorie pour nous sauver de qu'on est rendu du point de vue financièrement dans les finances publiques. Parce qu'on est rendu l'année passée à payer 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique, d'intérêts sur la dette publique, d'intérêts sur la dette publique, d'intérêts sur la dette publique. On était rendu à payer 46,5 milliards, 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique, 46,5 milliards sur la dette publique. L'année passée, c'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID, ça a plus que doublé. En 2020-2021, c'était 20,3. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. Fait que c'était rendu à 46,5. 46,5. C'était rendu à 46,5. 46,5 milliards. Fait que le fait là, que ça a plus que doublé, là, vous imaginez-vous, c'était 20,3 fois 2, ça a fait 40, ça a été 40,6. L'intérêt seulement à payer sur la dette publique, c'était rendu l'année passée à 46,5 milliards. Fait que le fait qu'un individu, si l'intérêt d'un individu citoyen, moi-même, j'ai pas de carte de crédit, j'ai une ligne de crédit. Mais si l'intérêt double, sans que le salaire double, citoyen, il faut qu'il coupe, ça coupe dans le budget. Qu'est-ce que vous allez couper dans le budget? Qu'est-ce qu'on va couper dans les publics? Les policiers, la police, les prisons, ceux qui ramassent les poubelles, le compostage. Il n'y a pas de solution. Vous imaginez-vous là, que l'intérêt seulement a plus que doublé en 4 ans. Là. C'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID, là, mais c'est plus que double. C'est plus que double. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD. Théorie de la refusion de la dette. La théorie de la refusion de la dette. La TRD. Théorie de la refusion de la dette, que je vous la discute maintenant. Fait que la TRD. Théorie de la refusion de la dette. Encore une fois, vous pouvez vous ostiner plus qu'il faut. Plus qu'il faut, mais c'est la seule et unique solution. Là. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Théorie de la refusion de la dette. Qui inclut la théorie d'intégration monétaire, qui est la théorie que les Européens ont fait de l'implémentation dans les années 90, il y a plus que 25 ans. Là. Ils ont créé une monnaie commune, puis ont fait de la création d'une banque centrale commune. L'Allemagne, la France, l'Italie, bien des pays n'ont plus de banque nationale centrale, de banque centrale nationale, il y a une banque commune. Plusieurs pays ensemble. Ils n'ont plus que la Banque centrale comme la Banque du Canada, comme nous autres ici. Bon, ben, vous pouvez vous ostiner tant que vous voudrez, mais ma théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'était bénédiction. Ça sort d'avoir été maudit par l'Asperger's, puis ça fait que la géopolitique, c'est mon intérêt obsessif. Et bien sûr, c'est ça que je fais au quotidien. Puis même que j'ai prévu la situation actuelle en 2019. En 2019, en octobre, en novembre. En octobre, en novembre, j'avais prévu, bien sûr, la situation actuelle qui se déroule en ce moment, qui qui se déroule en ce moment, je l'avais prévu, bien sûr, la situation actuelle qui se déroule en ce moment, je l'ai prévu en 2019. En 2019. J'ai la preuve, j'ai la vidéo en ligne. Donc, je l'ai prévu, la situation actuelle qui se déroule en ce moment. Je l'ai prévu, j'ai fait de la... Ben, je l'ai prévu, parce que c'est ça que je fais au quotidien. D'une manière générale, là, pas une manière par détail quand même, là, pour dire à chaque détail ce qui est arrivé depuis, mais j'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant. D'une manière générale, qu'il y aura comme une conflagration internationale, potentiellement une troisième guerre mondiale. Tu sais, puis on voit, il y a eu bien des dépenses. Les Allemands, ils ont commencé un réarmement. Les Allemands, ils ont pas eu de réarmement de même depuis la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, parce qu'ils ont un stigme, tu sais, le stigme d'avoir quasiment causé la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. Ben, on ne rentrera pas dans une discussion c'est la cause, parce que c'était l'Empire japonais aussi, là, l'Empire du Japon aussi de l'autre bord du Pacifique, là, vas-y, mais... qui ont conquis. C'était l'Empire du Japon qui sont partis à la conquête. C'était les Allemands aussi. Bon, ben nous, ici, au Québec, au Canada, dans le collectif nord-américain, on a fait le grand compromis du français, le grand compromis linguistique. Puis moi, je suis quelqu'un qui n'aime pas la violence. J'aime pas la violence, hein. J'aime pas la violence. Je me suis fait attaquer plusieurs fois, puis j'ai eu quand même plein de cicatrices. J'ai vu plein de cicatrices. Fait que je vis en hypervigilance, mais c'est pour la défense. Mes initiatives sont pour le collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, puis pour la défense, parce qu'on constitue un collectif émergent nouveau. Un collectif émergent nouveau. Fait que dans ce collectif émergent nouveau, il faut le dire, bien sûr. Puis moi-même, je vis avec mes cicatrices, je vis avec l'Asperger's, l'autisme non fonctionnel, je suis androgyne pansexuel, pas besoin de m'espionner. Service secret de la Russie ne traversait pas l'Atlantique, ni le service secret de la Chine ne traversait pas le Pacifique non plus. Là. Pour venir me voir, j'ai un petit clitopénis, une petite cicatrice. Rien à voir d'attitude, mais à la place, vous faites l'amour pour moi-même aussi. Si vous voulez me faire l'amour, je vous carte. Il faut que vous allez avoir 18 ans. 18 ans, noir et blanc, homme-femme. Je suis pansexuel, je fais partie de la communauté LGBTQ. Je suis dans l'open, dans l'ouvert depuis bien des années. Fait que je retourne à la TRD. Théorie de la refusion de la dette. C'est important qu'on fasse l'implémentation, car l'intérêt a plus que doublé. L'intérêt a plus que doublé. C'est plus que double. En 2020-2021, juste l'intérêt sur la dette publique, ça a monté de 20,3 milliards. L'année passée, c'était 46,5. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. Fait que vous voyez, c'est plus que double d'intérêt. C'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID, il y a eu des programmes qui ont dû être implémentés, mais si ça arrive avec un individu citoyen, que sa dette, pas la dette, mais l'intérêt, que lui, elle, les autres, ça double. Si ça double, il faut que le salaire double. Sinon, il faut que ça coupe dans le jeu. C'est le même principe. Financièrement, mathématiquement parlant, c'est le même principe pour les finances publiques. C'est le même financièrement public. C'est le même pour les finances publiques. Il n'y a pas de solution. On est en veille d'avoir un effondrement. Vous imaginez-vous que c'est possible qu'il y ait un effondrement? C'est possible qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques. C'est possible qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques. C'est possible qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques. C'est possible qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques, là. Ben, c'est possible, c'est sur l'horizon, là. C'est probable, c'est possible. C'est dans la possibilité à cause que l'intérêt a doublé, là. L'intérêt a doublé. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Vous pouvez vous ostiner tant que vous voudrez, mais c'est quoi l'autre solution? L'économie canadienne n'a pas doublé quand même. N'a pas doublé, c'est 1% d'augmentation de l'économie. Des fois, c'était dans le négatif. Des fois, c'était dans le positif. De 2%, 3%. Tu sais, 2%, oui. C'est double, c'est 100%, mais ça prend des années, des décennies pour que ça soit double, mais ça... Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Vous pouvez vous ostiner tant que vous voudrez, mais la TRD, théorie de la revision de la dette, qui inclut la théorie de l'intégration monétaire, ce qui est la théorie financière que les Européens ont fait de l'implémentation, est la seule solution. Ou quelque chose qui ressemble fortement en principe et fondamentalement à ma TRD, à la théorie de la refusion de la dette. C'est pas pour le faire, tu sais. Mais je vous l'explique maintenant. La théorie de la refusion de la dette, théorie de la refusion de la dette, théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça inclut la théorie de l'intégration monétaire. Donc, on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, mon 10 000, j'ai pas de carte de crédit moi-même. j'ai un 10 000 et je paye 10%, 10,44%, 10,44%, 10,44% d'intérêt moi-même sur une ligne de crédit à la Banque Royale Canadienne. Donc, je suis financièrement stressé, je vis un stress, là. Financièrement, ça va pas bien. 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 Financièrement, ça va pas bien, tu sais. Fait que c'est des choses qui vont arriver, mais c'est des choses qui vont arriver. Donc, c'est des choses qui vont arriver. Donc, pour en faire dans cette situation qu'on est rendu maintenant, pour dire, ben, que la TRD, je vous l'explique. On va prendre toute la dette publique-privée de côte à côte, d'océan à océan, et bien sûr, on va faire semblant, on va faire la situation, la dette publique-privée. Fait que pour faire, on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, et bien sûr, on va en faire ensemble, tu sais. Fait que toute la dette publique-privée, on va en prendre ensemble. On va en prendre ensemble toute la dette. Toute la dette publique-privée, on va en prendre ensemble. On va prendre ensemble, juste avertir les gens qu'il y a des solutions. Je vais juste les avertir à cause des branches. Hey, salut, bonjour! Parlez-vous français? You don't speak French? You speak English? OK, en français, juste pour vous avertir, mes chers, que des fois, les branches tombent, hein? Non, mais faites attention parce que des fois, ça tombe, hein? Puis moi, je viens souvent ici, c'est comme ma deuxième maison ici, hein? Non, vous tombez pas, là, mais juste faites attention, pas que ça tombe sur votre tête. Je niaise pas, regardez. J'ai tasse des fois sur le côté, OK? Parce que des fois, ça tombe d'en haut. Vous voyez, ça bouge, là. Puis le plus que vous restez à la même place, vous êtes en plus en risque qu'il tombe sur vous. Fait que j'essaie d'être un bon samaritain, là. Fait que... j'ai pas compris. À la prière, là, mais je sais pas à qui vous priez, là, mais... ben, j'aimerais mieux avoir, à place de la prière, peut-être quelque chose à manger à place.
OK, on va vous souhaiter ça.
Vous allez me souhaiter de quoi?
De bien manger.
De bien manger? Oui. Puis de boire aussi? Ah, ben là, du fromage? Du vin? Mais vous avez dit que vous allez me faire une prière. Je sais pas, moi aussi je suis spirituel quand même. Mais c'est plus la déesse.
Elle aussi est inclue.
Est inclus? Ouais. Parce que si c'est juste Dieu, je veux rien savoir.
Comme beaucoup de monde.
Si vous...
Mais c'est non-genré.
Si vous me mettez la déesse dedans Dieu, là.
C'est non-genré.
Je sais-tu, moi c'est le pape, c'est le soleil en haut, puis le rock'n'roll. Anyways, fait que je discute parce que des fois les branches tombent, fait que il faut que ça soit bien sûr dans l'encombrement, puis c'est des choses qu'il faut que ça fasse, tu sais, pour en faire, tu sais, dans les choses pour en faire de l'enfer, de la théorie de la refusion de la dette, donc pour faire dans cette situation, puis pour que ça soit, tu sais, dans ces choses qu'on est rendu ici, mais c'est des choses qu'il faut que ça soit dans cet encombrement, tu sais. Tu sais, que ça soit pour en faire dans ce... en tant que bon samaritain, là, ben, ça tombe. Des fois, j'étais sur le chemin, puis je leur ai dit, là, ben, fasse attention pour que ça le tombe, là, parce que regardez, là, ça tombe d'en haut, c'est pour ça, il y a du vent, puis ça tombe, là. Des fois, moi, je passe là, cette grosse branche là-bas, c'est des choses, il faut que ça soit juste là, mais là, la branche pour s'asseoir, tu sais, pour en faire, bien sûr, de l'affaire, pour en faire, mais dans cet enfer-là, que ça soit faire pour vivre ici, tu sais, parce que je sais pas, ils parlent français, ils parlent pas français, c'était des touristes, puis juste pour les avertir, parce que je connais la montagne, puis je sais pas qu'est-ce qu'ils faisaient, mais je voulais juste leur dire que c'était un milieu de préservation de la nature aussi, là, mais pas grave, on va faire ensemble. Fait que la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, théorie de la refusion de la dette, pour me faire la théorie de la refusion de la dette, pour que ça soit dans cette instance d'avoir été un peu faisant mon bon samaritain pour même ma famille là, qui sont là, peut-être de la Gaspésie, de la Beauce, des 17 régions, ben, Saint-Adrien, il y en a 2, fait que je sais pas lequel Saint-Adrien, pour que ça soit dans cet encombrement, puis que ça soit dans cet encombrement, pour en faire dans cette vie, puis dans un autre, puis pour en faire dans cette histoire de faisant de prudence, hein, prudence, parce que si ça tombe sur vous, là, checkez ça, la branche de même, ça tombe, vous êtes là, puis vous restez le plus en place que vous restez, le plus peur que c'est. Fait que la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, hein, c'est des choses qu'il faut qu'il me fasse, et qu'il soit bien sûr dans cet encombrement ici. C'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on regarde ensemble, parce que regardez, là, ça niaise pas, c'est les branches, hein. Ça tombe là d'en haut, ça, check ça. Ça tombe là d'en haut, hein. Ça tombe d'en haut sur vous, là, ça. Vous voulez pas avoir ça sur vous quand même, checkez ça. C'est une grosse branche, là. Ça, je l'ai averti, je sais pas c'est qui, mais je vous considère ma famille. Si vous voulez pas être ma famille, mais that's it, that's all. Va être vos affaires, merci, bonjour. Hein. Merci, bonjour, pas besoin de plus que ça, merci, bonjour, that's it, that's all. Vous voulez être ma famille, mais prêtez allégeance légion, vous êtes ma famille. Vous êtes ma famille, prêtez allégeance légion, vous êtes famille. Si vous voulez être ma famille, mais vous êtes ma famille, vous prêtez allégeance légion, vous êtes famille. Et that's it, that's all. Pas besoin de faire une grosse histoire, là. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Théorie de la refusion de la dette. La TRD, je retourne, on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, on va faire la refusion, puis on va prendre de côte à côte mon 10 000, ton 10 000 et l'autre 10 000. Fait que toute la dette publique-privée, on va faire la conversion de cette conversion de la dette publique-privée, tu sais, puis ça... On va faire bien sûr de cet encombrement. Donc la TRD, on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée. On va faire une résolution, tu sais, pour prendre toute la dette publique-privée. On va faire bien sûr toute la dette publique-privée, on va reprendre. On va mettre ça dans un paquet. On va faire l'addition avec la dette des États-Unis. On va faire la création de l'UI. U point unité, unité échange universel. U point unité, point échange, point universel. U point unité, point échange, point universel. Tu sais. U point unité, point échange, point universel. L'unité d'échange universel. L'unité d'échange universel. Tu sais. L'unité d'échange universel. On va faire la création de si bien sûr. Si ouais, d'autres branches sont tombées. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée. On va faire une résolution. Toute cette dette publique-privée. On va faire cette résolution, puis on va faire la création d'une nouvelle monnaie. Que ça soit une monnaie, bien sûr, pour en faire. Pour en faire toute la solution, tu sais, toute la résolution. Fait que toute la résolution, toute la dette publique-privée, on va prendre ensemble de côte à côte, on fait la conversion dans la dette des États-Unis, on va ramasser, on va faire l'addition ensemble. Toute cette dette-là, on va mettre ensemble avec les États-Unis, on va faire toute cette dette-là, on va la mettre ensemble. On va la mettre ensemble, bien sûr, pour en faire ensemble une nouvelle monnaie qu'on va appeler l'unité d'échange universelle. L'unité d'échange universelle, oui, ça ne sera pas en anglais, c'est pareil. L'unité d'échange universelle. L'unité d'échange universelle. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette publique privée, on va faire bien sûr l'unité d'échange universelle, on va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10% maximum. Avec ça, on va rebâtir l'infrastructure du Québec, du Canada. Je vais laisser ça tranquille. On va rebâtir l'infrastructure du Québec, du Canada, des États-Unis, parce qu'on va mettre ensemble avec les États-Unis. Et bien sûr, on va financer les gens en fait d'entraînement physique, on va financer les autres touristes, puis on va construire les 44 tunnels, bâtir plus de centrales d'Hydro-Québec, bâtir plus de centrales d'Hydro-Québec, bâtir plus de centrales d'Hydro-Québec, puis bâtir plus de centrales d'Hydro-Québec, puis rebâtir l'infrastructure, bâtir les 44 tunnels dans le cas d'une guerre thermonucléaire, puis là, on va faire, bien sûr, on va faire ici du rock'n'roll, fait que on va faire bien sûr du rock'n'roll bilingue. Let's go! Get ready for the rock'n'roll. Get ready for the rock'n'roll. Get ready for the rock and roll on the road. As I go, rock and roll on the road. For the left and for the right, for the left and for the right, for the left and for the side. You know that I clean it here. You know that I mean it. For the left and for the side, for the left and for the right, for the left and for the pipe. You know that I mean it. Mean it. Lead machine it. Gotta see it to believe it. Gotta love and rock and roll with it. You know it, gotta spin with it. Gotta spin with it, gotta hiss with it. Gotta rock and roll up in your know. Gotta rock and roll up in your go. Gotta rock and roll up in the snow. So you know we blowing kisses. So you know we blowing hisses. So you know I gotta rock and roll on the road up in the go. For the spin and for the higher. Higher for the higher power. Higher for the higher sour. Higher for the higher lowered. Lowered. Louder, louder, up we go. Louder, louder, up we go. So you know we kiss and go. So you know we kiss and go. So you know we kiss and roll up. So you know we kiss and fold up. So you know we kiss and dope. Dope on the road. They gotta give it up, you know. Gotta turn and rock and roll on the road. Hiss and go. We're gonna smack it, kiss it, love it. Flinch it on the fire, go. We gonna go step, we gonna roll. We gonna go step in your know. We gonna go step in your know. We gonna go step in the know. We gonna show up in the sower. So it's showing that you see. So you show it that you be. On the love and harmony. So you kisses on the go. So you kisses on the snow. So you ready for the rock and roll. Et voilà qu'on danse la zone de plantation pour sa descente. Descente à la vente. À descente à la vente. Pour la faire d'une histoire, pour la faire d'une affaire, pour la faire d'une maudite la bénite, maudite la bénite. À place de la bénite, fais une bière à place. À place de la bénite, fais une bière à place. La descente sur la pente, on va pour s'asseoir. Faut le faire pour le croire, faut regarder. Oh, quelqu'un fait un bonhomme de neige, bonhomme de neige. Madame, un petit peu. Ça fait, voilà. Ici, on glisse. En glissade. Fait qu'on fait ici, bien sûr, puis c'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on fasse, t'sais. Faire en faisant, bien sûr, de cette histoire de la... de faire, bien sûr, dans cette affaire de l'affaire d'avoir du zeste, pour l'affaire dans cette philosophie d'avoir été, tu sais. Yeah, that's gonna rock and roll, you know. That's we're gonna rock and roll, so that's how we're gonna get it with that, so that's how we're gonna get it. Let's go for the snow, in the blow up in the rocks, in the blow up in the docks, in the blow up in the dark, where there's light, this is the dark, so we've been the goo, in the go, I see you, in the do up in the see you, in the do up in the see you, I'm gonna see the hawk in harmony. Gonna see it left and right, for to see it that's a spite, for to see it that's a right, for to see it that's a plight. So you see up in the right, so you see up in the right, so you see up in the sight, so you be up in the lights, so you see up in the fight, so you see up in the sky, blew up in the rock, blew up in the spark, that you see up in the rock, that you see up in the bark, that you see up in the love, that you see on the harmony, that you see up in the bee, that you see up in the bee, that you see up in the bee. So you see ready to be, so you see ready to be, so you see ready to see, so you see ready to kiss, ready to hiss, for the rainbow, for the please, for the left and right and the yeah. They be saying rock and roll, I be saying on the go, for the left and right and purple, for the left and right and circle, for the rest and right and circle, for the left and right and curveball, so that's what good for the rock and roll, so I'm ready to go, freestyle as I wrote another song, as I wrote another longer, English language sentence stronger. Ooh, English language sentence stronger. That's where we're to carry on. Et voilà. Pour l'enfer de l'enfer, pour l'enfer de l'enfer, de chez nous de la belle province, puis les montagnes. Pas besoin de l'eau bénite, juste une bière en place. Pas besoin de l'eau bénite, juste une bière en place. Pas de canette de bière, là, s'il vous plaît. Ouais. Il y a un danger pour aller la chercher, là, mais faites pas ça, là, je sais pas. Ça me dérange pas, vous buvez, mais mettez pas ça là-dedans. Là. Parce que, c'est des choses qu'il faut pas laisser là-bas, là, parce que si ça pollue, on a du bon. On a de la flore, de la faune, on a bien des choses pour en faire que ça soit dans la place, pour avoir cet encombrement de 1 million de tonnes. De la montagne, je sais pas si c'est 1 million de tonnes, mais I don't know if there's 1,000 tonnes. Let's go rock and roll. Rock and roll is all I know. That's my church up in the go. Le rock and roll, c'est mon église. Rock and roll, c'est mon église. Mon église. Tante Élise. Elle dit, je veux rien savoir de ta, la bénite. Où la déesse? Déesse, la prêtresse. Qu'elle change en écarlate. Qu'elle change en écarlate. Je suis pas sorcière, je suis la prêtresse. Je suis pas sorcière. Je suis la prêtresse, je suis pas sorcière, je suis la prêtresse. Prêtresse en écarlate. Vous me maudissez que soit maudit, c'est fois 7. Vous me maudissez fois maudit, fois 7. Vous me maudissez soit maudit, fois 7. Bénédit, béni fois 7. Bénédit, béni fois 7. Pop, toute libre, je dois rien. Hein? Juste à 0 personne. Sauf mon ami anonyme. T'es pas mon ami à cause de l'argent. J'ai un ami, j'ai jamais les poches pleine de la belle province pour vous défendre, ben calvaire. Quand on soit un nid de poule, pour en faire consensuel, recensement tout en province, faut le faire, let's go, rock and roll on the go. That's the chipmunks on the sea. That's the chipmunks on the bee. That's the chipmunks on the bee. Ready to be, ready to see. Ready to see, ready to see. That's what it is, ready to be, ready to kiss. Ready to hiss. For the flavor. For the lips. For the sun. We're stronger. For the love. We want. So we love the ones. For the cow. We know we're stronger. For the love. We know we bros. For fit in the go. So fit in the snow. For fit in the rock and the roller. Rock and the roller. Red Cardinal. Oh yeah, red cardinal, man. That's a red. Oh. C'est un cardinal rouge.
that, sorry?
Oh, you guys don't speak French, eh? That's a red cardinal right there. See? Oh, you guys don't speak no French at all? Where are you guys from?
Australia.
Oh my God! Welcome to Quebec. So welcome. Welcome to the mountain. This is my second home, guys. Please, can I request something of you guys while you guys are staying here in Quebec, La Belle Province? Please promise that you're only gonna eat local Quebec products.
Yeah.
Local cheese, local wine, please. Don't buy anything from Australia, okay? Not the cheese, because when you're here, please do that.
Yeah, no, we haven't eaten anything.
You gotta try everything made in Quebec. You know the fleur de lis? The flag of Quebec. You guys know the flag of Quebec?
Now, is it the blue one or is it the white
Blue,
one?
but you know the little fleur de lis there? So in our stores, you check the products, they either have the maple leaf or the little flower there. So check the labels. If you see that, that's the ones you guys still gotta buy. Anyways, welcome to Quebec, and hope you guys learn some French while you stay here, and love you guys, and be careful, and we have a lot of hawks. And one more thing for your safety, if you decide to venture in the forest, because this is my second home, and this is like I know it. It's like come here every day almost. So be careful if you venture out of this main road. There's a possibility of a danger because of the falling trees, the falling branches.
Okay.
So as you can see, many branches have fallen. So if you do decide to venture in deep, just look up. If you hear something, see those branches, they're about to fall even down. So be ready to run, because there's an added safety and security concern when you go inside the forest. Bye. So that's what we're gonna do, you know, and that's what I gotta say, you know, to my fellow brothers and sisters, citizens, you know. Anyway, rock and roll, man. Anyways, that's what you gotta get doing, you know. See, like these branches here. That's why I was saying them that is the branches. See, look at that. That's why when you venture in there, you're outside of this realm here. So, ça je l'aurais dit parce que je parle pas français, là, mais je l'aurais dit. Faites attention, parce que si vous rentrez, tu sais, dans les espaces là comme ça, je viens de l'Australie, fait que je leur ai demandé, je leur ai dit en anglais, parce qu'ils sont de l'Australie, ben, je leur ai dit que s'ils sont ici, ben, qu'ils consomment juste des produits du Québec, parce qu'ils viennent de l'Australie, tu sais, fait que je leur ai dit, c'est ça, je leur ai dit en anglais, parce qu'ils parlaient pas français, là, mais je leur ai dit juste acheter des produits avec la fleur de lys. Le panier bleu, là, le panier bleu, mais, tu sais, ils sont ici, fait que, qui essaient nos produits, là, parce qu'on a bien des produits, nos fermiers, nos boulangers qui produisent, tu sais, du fromage, du vin, du sucré, de toutes choses. C'est ça que je leur ai dit aux Australiens en Australie, tu sais. Ben, en anglais, là. En anglais, tu sais, pour que ça fasse, tu sais, c'est des choses comme ça, bien sûr, pour enfants, tu sais. C'est des choses comme ça, tu sais. Oh. Et c'est ça. Fait que my cousin jogging. Let's go! For the jogging on the go! For the left and right and purple. For the sun and for the sun. For the one up in the one. For the one up in the sun. For you know up in the none. Hey, gotta kiss it all those lovers. Gotta kisses for the butchers. Gotta kisses for the bakers. And you know we on the truckers. Truckers on the road, famous as you go. Truckers on the road, famous as you go. Truckers on the road, famous as you go. As you go and deep and slow, as you go up in the road, gotta give it for 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 the road, you know? So that's where we gotta get it. For the left or right, and set it, upset it. Pour la gauche et la droite, l'ensemble des annonces, mais ça va, la neige. On est le 26 mars, c'est juste du rock'n'roll. Que ça fasse un peu de promesse, que ça fasse. Ben des orteils, ben ça bouge, ben des orteils, ben ça bouge, ben ça bouge. Ça bouge, ça bouge, ça bouge. That's where we gotta go. We got a poem, man. We got a poem right here. This is a poem about the sun. The l'unique étoile que nous avons en partage, t'es dans le monde visible, t'es dans le monde année. The only star that we have is the sun, my Publik. It's a French poem, so it's a nice French poem. It gives you the visible to see the visible, and then you got the shadow. So to reborn gets you the shadow to reborn, and t'es dans le monde de la night gives you the shadow to reborn. So that's what we gotta get doing, you know, and that's what we gotta get on the love side. Gotta get it on the love, man. Anyways, it's just people don't know. I forgot to mention that to people, but there's poems, eh? There's poems. Poems. Quite cool, actually. La poésie. C'est tout alentour, la poésie. Salut! How you guys doing?
Very good. So good.
Financially stressed, but I can't complain. My rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food, and heading back home.
Right on.
Are you guys speaking a little bit of French?
Up there?
Yeah. Where you guys are from Quebec?
Alberta.
Alberta, nice. What brings you over to the belle province? Nice. Oh, thanks for making an effort. That's good.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, guys. Just want to let you know that if you do venture in the forest there, if you do decide to take a venture inside the forest deep, there's an added security risk because of the branches might fall. So as you can see, there's many branches fall. So if you do venture outside of this way here, which is the principal road, if you venture inside there, always be on the lookout up because the branches fall and they have a tendency to fall. So, and one more thing, there's poems right about in French. If you go around about, you can see the poems.
Really?
Yeah, just there and all about.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good day.
Likewise. Anyway, so that's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get doing on the go, you know. So it's something which we gotta get doing, you know. To my fellow Alberta's there for the fellow family from Quebec, Canada made a little effort from Alberta, gotta give it for that singing on the go, you know. So it's gotta get it on the love, you know. Gotta get some love. Reminds me in 2017 when I went to Alberta. That's what we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta get doing with the XYZ, and that's what we gotta get on the go, you know. And that's what we gotta get doing on the road, you know. So it's something which we gotta be on the XYZ with that. So something which we gotta be on the love side, you know, of things, and we gotta get on the LOV, you know. So fellow Albertans got some love, and ils ont fait un effort en français, je dois dire. Anyways, rock and roll, back to rock and roll, c'est ça le principal, c'est du rock and roll. Rock and roll in the sun as I go, back to my headquarters on the road. Got it for the left, got it for the right, got it for the left, got it for the side, got it for the right, got it for the right. Got it for the love, got it for the sub, got it for the left, got it for the right, got it for the left side, got it for the left and right, got it for the blast, for the black and white and rainbow, as you know, up in the go, for the kiss up in the toes, for the kiss up in the yob, on the globe, got some satellites in the sky, got some satellites in the sky, got some satellites in the sky, for the left and for the right, gotta get it for the side, gotta get it for the right, for the left and right. I wonder that is, I think that's radio television set. Anyways, gotta get it on the go. Gotta get it on a little bit of that, you know. Gotta get it for the snow. Gotta get it for the low. Gotta get it for the firefighters, butchers, and the truckers, and the nurses, and the doctors. Gotta get it for the firefighters, butchers, and nurses, and doctors. For the love up in the sea. For the love up in the D. For the love up in the sea. For the love in it to see. For the love in it to be. For the love in it to see. Happy be in harmony. Happy be in harmony. For the bees and in the trees, for the bees and in the trees, for the bees and in the trees, for the left and right and please, for the left and right and please. We gon' got it for you squeezer, we gon' got it for you squeezer, we gon' got it for you squeezer, we gon' got it up in this. There's another poem. There's another poem in our French, you know, we rock and roll on the go ahead from the mountain on, you know it. That's what's happening. So you know it, so you show it, so you know it, so you throw it. So you know it, black and white and rainbow, kiss it. Black and white and rainbow, kiss it. Black and white and rainbow, kiss it. Sunshine, I'm going west. West, back to my headquarters, that's a blaster, baddest. Kiss and talk, kiss. Alberta, that's a squeezer. Pour l'Alberta et le Canadien, la Confédération unie. De la gauche, la droite bénie, de la gauche, la droite bénie. Que ça soit bien fructifie, ben ça soit bien fructifie. Mange, danse, tout ce que je connais, c'est le rock, le roll, ça roule. De la droite et de la gauche, pour la belle province, pour en soir que ça soit, pour en soir que ça soit, pour s'asseoir de la belle province, pour s'asseoir de la belle province, pour s'asseoir ben guitare, pour s'asseoir ben guitare, pour s'asseoir ben guitare, pour qu'on s'assoie ben regarde, pour qu'on soit 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 ben retarde, pour qu'on soit ben retarde, ben retarde, ben regarde, ben ensemble, pour ensemble ben regarde, pour ensemble ben s'assoie. Pour justice, belle province, pour justice, ben ça glisse. Let's go get it for the rock and roll up in the bliss, 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 rock and roll up in the bliss. And you know we got a flavor, please, gotta squeeze it up and down. I do not recommend coming by here because it's slippery now, but I know the way, so I'm gonna come down there. So that's why we gotta go slow, you know. Gotta go slow for those citizens there, cause auntie and tante, gotta go up and down. Salut! Financièrement, non, mais à part ça, ça va, j'ai payé mon loyer.
Bon, et vous commencez avec les volets financiers. Qu'est-ce qui arrive?
Mais je suis en stress financier quand même.
Wow, ok. À cause?
J'ai pas d'emploi en ce moment. Puis je vis avec l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, donc c'est quand même difficile pour moi l'emploi.
Ok. Alors, bon courage, bonne chance.
Bonne chance. Vous allez jusqu'en haut, tout droit même.
Ah oui, exact. On fait les tours.
Faites attention, ma chère, parce que des fois, il y a les branches qui tombent. Tu vois ici, là?
Oui.
Ces tombes-là, ça tombe d'en haut, là, fait que... Puis ça glisse, fait que... Regarde en haut, puis rock'n'roll bouge vite.
D'accord, merci, bonne journée.
Pareillement à toi. Ciao, ciao. On évoque, qu'on danse, bien qu'on s'encombre. Pour s'asseoir bien de tarde, pour s'asseoir bien la glisse. Pour s'asseoir bien la lisse, pour s'asseoir bien sa lisse. Pour s'asseoir bien province. Je veux rien savoir. I don't want nothing to know. I don't want nothing to go. I don't want up in the snow. I don't want up in the snow. I don't know up in the blow. I don't know up in the snow. I don't know up in the bow. I don't know up in the go. For you know up isn't road. For you know up isn't grow. So you know I guess and go. So you know I kiss and go. For the flow and then the go. For the flow up in the road. For the snow up in the road. For the snow up in the go. So you sentence up you know. So you sentence up you know. For the flow up in the road. For you fall up in the road. For you go up in the loke. For you go up in the road. For you fall. So you know. For the love up in the kiss. For you low up into this. For you row up into this. She asked, why am I financially stressed? See the Asperger's again. It was honest. It's honest. It's just because we don't know the same. Like we don't have the same social manners. You know, we're just gonna say. You know, so I'm just gonna say. We gotta go with that. You know, so we gotta go on the go. You know, so it's something which we gotta be on the love. You know, so it's something which we gotta be, man. You know, so it's something which we gotta do. You know, something which we gotta do. Gotta get it for the love, you know, so it's something which we gotta get on that goal, you know, so that's something which we gotta get it, you know, it's something that we gotta get on the do's, man, it's always, you know, it's always, so just gotta let them know that branches fall, be careful. That's what I said in French to my fellow auntie, cousin, auntie, uncle, family here, you know, everybody's family, but sometimes we're dysfunctional, all who come to join us here in the new world, from all over the world. We came here and this is home, you know. The Collectif, Quebec, Canada, United States, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, pledge your allegiance, le royaume de la déesse et du dragon, prêter allégeance les gens, fusing Canada, US, gonna fuse that Canada, US, we're gonna fuse that Canada, US, on va bien sûr, whoopa, fuser le Canada puis l'US, J'ai glissé, j'ai pas tombé. I slipped, I slid, I didn't fall. I slipped, I fall, I didn't fall. I slipped, I fall, I didn't fall. I slipped, I didn't fall. We got arrested for the blessed. You know we gotta kiss it. For the left or right and firefighters. Gotta give me some butchers, gotta give me some nurses. Gotta give me some holler, gotta give me some dollar. See, the thing with Asperger's is people ask how are you? She asked how I was in French. You're supposed to say I'm okay, you know, but Aspies, we're just gonna say how we are really, and that's how I am, financially stressed at the moment. Financially stressed, but hey, the firefighters deserve a massage therapy session more than yours truly. A massage therapy session more than yours truly. A massage therapy session. So finance them Wall Street. Those in the public as well. And before I depart, last gesture. Please recycle. I'm gonna go show you where it is. Please recycle. We're gonna put it over there, and that's what we're gonna get doing with that. So that's what we're gonna get doing, you know. So something which we gotta get, you know, and that's what we gotta get doing on that, you know. So something which we gotta get on that, you know. So something which we gotta be on the vice, you know, on the vice, you know. So that's what we gotta get it on the XYZ here, you know. So something which we gotta be doing, you know. Yeah, there we go. That's what it was with that, you know. Rock and roll up in the go, rock and roll up in the snow, rock and roll on the go. Gotta give it before you go, gotta give it before you know, gotta give it before you blow, gotta give it before you know, gotta give it before you know, gotta give it for your soul, gotta give it for you know, gotta give it for the dough. Now, that one's where's the hawk? Hawk, my totem bird. Hawk in French is what is gonna be usually it's gonna be for the recycling, you know? Pour le recyclage. Je pense que ça va être à la sortie là-bas. It's gonna be at the end there. Ready for some more rock and roll or what? Ready for some more rock and roll or what? Dois. Let's go. Message. Feels good. Feels good. Gotta get it on the go. Oh yeah. This was a good day. Gotta get it on the go. That's all we gotta keep doing, man. You know, get some of that more rock and roll and clock it in, clock it out. Let's go for the love. Let's go for the sun. Let's go for the one. Let's go for the left, right, and center in the middle. Gotta kiss it so you go. Got kisses on the door, knocking on the cold and knocking on the blower. Oh, that's a little bit of snow. Leftovers and love, love, love how this smells so good. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Unexpire, 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 unexpire. So that's what it is with that. So, you know, that's what it is, you know. So that's what it is, you know. So just like you gotta get doing with that, you know. Please, I don't mind you smoking. Smoke, because it's legal. But please, gotta be 18 plus, though. Please, this can be swallowed by a rabbit, a chipmunk, a hawk. So please, recycle. See, this is what I've been doing for years and years and years. It's nature here, you know. It's nature here. It's nature here, you know. So that's how we gotta get doing, you know. It's nature, man. So this all gotta be recycled. Recyclage, see. Solo cup special design. Recycle it, you know. So that's all we gotta be doing. Getting on that recycling, you know. Get on that recycling for that. Get that shit. Get on that recycling, you know. Get motorcycling, getting on the bicycle, getting on the for the squirrels, pour les écureuils, pour sa marmotte, sa marmouille, ça chante bien, ça danse, boum, un pas en arrière, ça avance en reculant, ça recule ben drette tous ensemble, et ça fasse, tous ensemble pour encore une fois la danse. Ah, salutations solaires, salutations bénites, salutations écrites, salutations bénites, que ça soit bien l'arbitre, que ça soit bien l'arbitre. Ah, procureur puis la défense, il faut que ça s'entende, faut entendre. La sentence, c'est l'amour. Hey, je dois rien à personne, mais libre, je ne fais l'amour. Combat, c'est construit, la défense, la gauche, à droite, l'armée du dragon avance. L'armée du dragon avance. L'armée du dragon avance. The army of the dragon advances. Hey, all who come here, North American Collectif, pour l'Amérique du Nord, le Collectif, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, le royaume de la déesse du dragon qui danse. Pledge your allegiance, legions, to our family, pledge your allegiance, legion, to our family, pledge your allegiance, legions, to our family, pledge your allegiance, legions, to our family, pledge your allegiance, legions, to our family. And well, it's always good when I come here. I just love it, you know. I just love coming here. It's so much joy. Now I go back, joy. Financial stress. En crise financière, mais quand même je viens. You know. That's what it is with that. That's what it is with the God. So we gotta get doing, man. A lot of rock and roll there, so that's what we gotta get doing with that, you know. So we gotta get doing on the XYZ, you know. That's my fellow said. Auntie smiled at me, she nodded, and I think we spoke about 3 years and a half ago about, you know, where that leopard skin, that's du léopard, mais m'a fait un beau sourire, and it was there on the plaques. Beautiful plaque. Oh, there's the hawk! I got it, the hawk. That's the hawk. That's my totem bird flying high. And there's the crow. I love them both, eh? There's the hawk. Finishing hawk. That's my totem bird, the hawk. You saw the hawk?
I did not.
It's there, see? Another one! Look.
Nice. I think those are vultures.
No, they're hawks, those.
I think they're vultures.
No, they're hawks.
Okay. Have a good day.
Likewise. Hawks, man. The hawks. That's a crow. The hawks. Vultures, eh? Hawks, man. That's my totem bird. He probably said, what a weirdo asked me, but those are hawks, black and white hawks, you know. C'est des éperviers, ça. C'est des éperviers, you know. That's what it is. They're not vultures. I was gonna go on an ask me tirade. I mean, I know my totem birds, you know. Besoin d'aide, madame, avec?
English, please.
You want help with this? I bring it up?
No, that's fine.
You carry yourself? Okay. My pleasure. It would have been my pleasure. I don't mind helping you out. You're welcome. I don't mind helping with the carriage if they want, you know, and sometimes it could be heavy, and I guess they can manage. I wasn't sure. Sometimes people accept my offer or help, you know, so that's it, that's all, you know, offer, and I always put some muscle, you know, un peu de muscle, un peu de cerveau, and I'm just gonna go back home now. À la maison, home, mom's hungry, I'm really hungry now. Really hungry. I only had a coffee this morning, I had a little bit of leftovers, but like 3 spoons. J'ai vraiment faim, fait que je me dirige chez nous. So I got work. There's the hawks. They're not vultures. There's the hawks. Hawks, man. Hawk. It's a hawk all day. H-A-W-K. That's a hawk also.